and now we just went like off into space.
Does everybody feel more relaxed and free with their lives now?
I feel like good. I feel like we should have been doing this a long time ago.
Hell yeah.
Wait a second.
Sometimes you gotta take that leap, and like once you do it, you're good.
Right now on Blind Interviews, we have someone who I don't even know how I came across you, but that's the power of social media. Because we connected through social media, and then from then till now, I feel like I've seen you grind all the way to where I could see you. It looks like you have your own studio now. He dropped his own project with an array of artists. I see him taking trips here and there, all through the music. With that being said, you could kind of tell the power that's coming from this man's music and his creations and what he's doing in the studio and helping to build up other artists. We have Mileage on the motherfucking podcast. Give it up for Mileage.
Woo. Yo.
What's going on?
Hey, let's go.
So all the cameras in here. I'm like, I don't even know which one to look
all right,
at.
boom. So we got one right there,
Yeah.
one right there, and then that one's on him.
hard.
So, but first thing I want to ask is, I heard you guys speaking about you playing the guitar.
A little.
You play the guitar a little bit.
A little bit.
How long have you been playing the guitar?
I don't remember when I first got a guitar, honestly.
Okay.
My dad got me one for my birthday when I was like 10 or something like that. And then I think right after that comes guitar lessons and that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's probably like a billion people that can relate to this exact same thing, but
I can.
yeah.
First instrument was a guitar.
Dude, yeah, and I feel like that's naturally what like another musical thing, and I had already done the piano lessons thing like a couple years before that, and that kind of fell off, and the guitar lesson thing lasted like a couple months because then my guitar teacher like moved away. But yeah, I mean, I always like had a guitar that just sat in my closet, and it's funny because I finally picked it back up and I use it in songs, every once in a while, and sometimes it's like it becomes the main character in the song kind of thing. But yeah, but again, I was saying I'm like level 2 or 3 out of 10. Like there's other people that are like guitar players.
Yeah.
Like, yo, he plays guitar. For
Just
me,
keep
it's like,
fucking shredding.
nah, like I can play guitar. It's not, I don't walk around like, yeah, I'm the next Jimi Hendrix, bro. Like, no, I'm not. But it's dope. It's a fun instrument.
I want to ask when you picked it back up, because when I was a child, when I was younger, a guitar was one of my gifts as well.
Really?
And yeah.
Dude, we're all like...
The most I got with the lessons was the fucking DVD or some shit that came with it, right?
Smoke on the water for me.
Yeah.
Dang.
Was that some
I
type
at least
of
had a
DVD
real
shit?
person. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played on one string like that.
A string broke, and then that was it. So I never developed any type of skill from it. So when did you pick it back up?
I don't know. Honestly, it's probably more recently. Like ever since I moved up here, it's like 2019. So I had one, and ironically enough, my best friend back in Savannah, his name's Alec. He has my old guitar. My dad's still probably mad about that my old guitar is just like sitting at his place. But anyways, he was the one that like he started picking up guitar, and it was like later college years is like when I was kind of like, oh, okay, I might get into it. And
yeah.
But again, like all the stuff I was making in Savannah, there was nothing that like really called for a guitar. But yeah, I moved up here, and I don't know, it just kind of like gradually kind of grew onto me. But I feel like especially within the past years when I was like, oh, I really need to pick this thing up again. And I just kind of told myself the start of last year, I bought a little acoustic, a classical acoustic. So it's like a little bit smaller than a normal acoustic guitar. So again, when you like spend money on a guitar, you're like, all right, well, I better use this thing.
Yeah.
And like, again, it was like $100, nothing crazy, but it's still awesome I look at it every day and it's just sitting in the corner like the Guitar Hero guitar over there, and I'm like, oh, I could add that, or like, I pick it up just kind of like messing around waiting for an artist to finish their song writing or whatever, and then I'm like, this would sound fire, and then they look at me too and they're like, dang, bro, you should add that in there. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to, like,
Hell yeah,
just
hell
watch,
yeah.
like, boom, you know. And again, sometimes it stays in the song. Other times, like I said, it takes over the whole song and we make it like this, like, anthem or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because I think it becomes like a peer pressure thing in a good way, like good peer pressure where people are like, yeah, bro, you should just add some guitar on it, you know, and kind of saying it like, oh, do it, bro. But then it ends up being like, this actually sounds really good.
Especially right now for some reason, because just that whole atmosphere of music, a lot more songs have guitars in them. So I feel like that's what comes
completely.
to mind when you say like artists are like, throw the guitar in there,
I
throw
know,
the guitar
yeah,
in there, because
and-
it's so relevant right now.
Yeah, and too, like everyone wants to be a rock star low key, so it's like, let's do that. That's to me, like, what do you think of a rock star? You think of like electric guitars and like
Yeah.
bang in your head and stuff.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's someone else out there that thinks of a rock star differently, but I'm sorry, that's rock.
Facts.
And
Facts.
Whenever I hear a song and it's like, I'm a rock star, and I don't hear an electric guitar, I'm like, sure, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
you're
like
missing
well,
a little element.
yeah, like it's telling the story musically.
A
you know?
technical element.
Yeah, no, it's very true. And yeah, I mean, I think too, it's really cool, like seeing the shift in the industry right now. I've been on this like hyper pop binge recently. I don't know if you guys listen to that genre at all,
I
but
fuck with it.
it's amazing. It's the greatest thing ever. And like to me, it's all so nostalgic. Like, I just have to thank my brother for like everything too. He's the one that, you know, like took me to one of my first concerts. My parents took me to my first concert, and I got to see the Eagles.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that was insane. Like, talk about again like real rock stars. Like they make all types of genre of rock and stuff. But seeing that, and then you know my first concerts and stuff with my brother were like at Warped Tour and all those kind of things. And I'm like,
Fire.
oh, these people like headbanging and the mosh
Yeah.
pits and the this. And again, everyone's like talking about mosh pits with like Playboy Cardi stuff. And I'm like, yes, I love those mosh pits too. But like, do you guys realize like where those really came from? You know, it's
Yeah.
like it was the scene kids back in the 2000s and obviously even before that in the 90s and stuff. There's like mosh pits from the punk scene and like Rage Against the Machine, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dang, bro, there's so much like of that grunge,
Yeah.
like hardcore,
That's awesome. Yeah.
whatever. Like some of it's screaming, some of it's singing, but I'm just like, dude, I love that kind of stuff, and it's so
Exploring
cool that
history,
it's
dude. No, that's great.
yeah, and it's so cool that like it's coming back. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, let's use it with rap, and let's use it with like some singing too, and like let's see how we can morph
Really,
it and,
really.
and add some EDM sounds and add this. That's
Just
like,
like-
where, again,
like
where
the hyper
is literally
pop
just
shit,
like,
you're right, yeah.
oh.
I was really excited when I heard like rap kids talking about like mosh pits, and I was like,
Yeah. No, me too. And I'm just kind of like, all right, I can get behind this. Like,
I was like, I'll see. And then I got one. I was like, oh yeah, this is legit.
yeah, too. And I think it's nice to have an artist that can do a little bit of that. And then also to have like times where you sit back and just kind of like vibe and bob your head and whatever. But
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, if I'm going to a concert, I want to like move around and dance and jump.
Facts,
and like,
facts,
I don't want to
facts.
just, you know, sit there and chill the whole time.
Like
I'm
you said,
paying for an experience. Like, come
Uh-huh.
on, give me an experience. Let's go.
I feel like it's fire, like you said, just to have an array of different things to go to. You have your super hype fucking songs, and then you have the chill songs, like
Exactly.
to incorporate all of it.
And it's cool because, like, again, I feel like I'm using the guitar to, like, give it some energy or something.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's, like, my natural, the way I am is I'm always like, come on, like, let's take it to the next level. As
Hey,
opposed
mileage,
to just,
turn
like,
me up.
Yeah,
Right,
like, it's like,
exactly.
turn it
Hell yeah.
up, you know, not the, mileage, chill it out. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, that's not
Hell yeah,
me,
that's
you know? I'm
fine,
like,
that's fine.
whereas, like, I'm sure there's other people that use their guitars and, you know, they're a little more graceful and very, like, smooth with whatever they add. But for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, let's obviously again the song will call for whatever you need, but for the most part, only time I'll pick it up is like again when I'm really trying to just add a little cool sprinkle or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's my guitar spiel,
Uh-huh.
and I'm
I
glad
wanna-
we can all relate to playing it at some point or another.
I literally was
For
my
real.
first instrument, and within a month, I think I stopped playing.
It'd be like that, but
But
You got
even
one,
Drum
that's-
lessons. I got drum lessons too, and didn't take them.
yeah, because I think that's the best part is like. Again, I did the piano thing and then that, and then I played trumpet in band when I was growing up for like 7 years. Failed out of that in high school. Shout out my band teacher. Because
Damn.
look at me now. But anyways,
Why did you fail? Like what
Bro, the
determines
scales.
failing? Okay.
the
What
scales?
instrument did you
Yeah.
play?
I played trumpet.
Oh,
The trumpet,
And
yeah.
I was first chair. May I add?
What?
Like what?
dang!
I wasn't.
You were
just
in
like
band, so you know
saxophone.
that. What's
really
first chair?
Yeah. First
Shout
chair
out
is
my
like
band teacher, Mr. Foxworth.
yeah. That's awesome. No, seriously, like, bro, band teachers and stuff. That stuff is so important. And I'm not like throwing any shade. I'm just like, wow. I just laugh at it now that I'm like, oh, huh. Because organized band was just not for me. And it got to the point where I was
gets
just
you
like,
involved in the world, dude.
yeah, and I just wasn't enjoying it because it was like, oh, you're not practicing your D minor scale, you're this, that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't memorize it. Like, I was playing video games and on the football team this week, or the whole past month, I wasn't sitting at home like, oh, what? Like, no offense, I hate that they make playing bands like a loser thing to do in school, and I just
facts.
every day I kind of was like, dang, I'm a loser because I'm in band, and like in reality, I'm like, wait, but music's amazing, like
it is fucked up how that's
it's a stigma, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I caught the weird in between of the worlds because I was on drumline, so like drumline.
That's hard, and it's like
any credit that band has. Like all my band friends who watch this are gonna hate me, but like any credit that band has is like drumline. Drumline's pretty cool. Everyone's like, oh, Nick Cannon. I'm like, yeah.
I know the Nick. Literally, I mean that movie like helped really make it so cool.
But like junior year, there was a really weird like public shift in our school, and they were like. The cheerleaders and shit were coming into like our band room like, hey y'all, we can't wait to perform with y'all and shit, and like everyone was like talking to them. It was weird. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
But that's awesome.
Like, that's dope.
We were
for
so
sure.
not used to it, like, because the whole year, like the whole state, like it's not just my 4 years of high school thing. That's like a since that movie came out from American Pie, like that's all band kids are is drumline and that one time at band camp.
I know.
Wait. Before we move on, what's first line? First line's what you said, right? It was in
first
band.
chair.
First chair.
You're basically just like the main instrument player. So like you're playing the main melody of whatever the song has.
Yeah.
So if we're playing like. What's a classic band song? Like Lowrider, the George Lopez theme song.
Yeah.
Like if we were playing that song, it's like I'm gonna be the one doing the da 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 whatever.
Okay,
and then like
makes sense.
the second chair, the third chair, you're playing like my melody parts. And like
Makes
you got to
sense.
play quieter because I'm first chair, so like first chair has to be the louder one.
It's usually one or two first chairs and then like 3 second chairs and 4.
And then 3 and 4. Yeah, and again, obviously every band's different because it depends how many people are in it and that kind of stuff.
Could
but
be
no.
1-1-1.
Yeah, it's kind of wild though to think of like how I don't know, like I said, band just it depends like where you went to school, like if people got behind it or whatever. But anyways, that like helped.
Okay,
a
hell
lot.
yeah.
That's for sure.
One thing I wanna say before we go to some next shit, you're doing some promo, some interacting with your fan base, with your supporters, and you're asking the favorite songs out of your new project, right? And I didn't
shout out the Instagram stories.
Hell yeah!
I need to do that better, but
it seemed like it was going pretty well though.
oh yeah, people were
As long
going
as
crazy.
always
on them.
put your own creative
Right.
flair on it. That's all you can really do.
But at that time, I hadn't listened yet, and I was gonna tell you my favorites from it after
No, I remember.
after I listened to the whole entire project, right? So
And now you've listened. Drum roll.
I could say my top 3, just personally, right now. Grown is bananas.
Banger.
Grown is bananas.
Shout out Sam.
And it's
In the UK.
If he's from the UK,
Yes, sir.
Okay, fire.
He's going
Just
crazy.
to drop a little bit on that one. It was the cohesiveness between you and then the artist that hopped on your production went very well on that one, I could say. And then just personal taste, it was fire because I heard the beat and I was like, this shit bananas. but then he executed
Perfectly,
He fucking
bro. Like
executed.
he sent me that in March of quarantine.
Okay.
Like very beginning, like when
2020.
No one knew anything of like, oh, what's going on with Corona and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And he sent me that song back, and I was just like, this is why I make music. Like,
Hell yeah.
What? This is crazy. And
Hell
again,
yeah.
all I did was send him the beat, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I had no say in the songwriting and how he structured it or whatever. And like, he sent it back, and I was just like, oh my, like this is crazy. And
At this time, were you thinking of making this project
No,
already?
heck
Or
no.
Okay,
Heck
hell
no.
yeah, hell yeah.
like honestly, I mean, I've like released my own music before and stuff, and I think some people are kind of like, oh, he's never done that. It's like, bro, if
Yeah.
you like, again, if you've really been with me since 2017 when I started all this. It's like, bro, I've been doing this. I had like 5 singles that I put on SoundCloud. I think in 2018, and I did like just singles, and then I put them together on an EP. And then I did like 2 or 3 other songs that I did on SoundCloud. I did another EP in 2019.
Okay, fine.
But then again, like, I feel like ever since I moved up here, it was just like work, and like really, you know, progress and get really just refine my skills and get really, really good at, you know, just making music and making songs with artists and that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyways, like made that song, and I was so used to the typical routine of like, hey, bro, I'm going to drop that song. Like the artist telling me that, being like, oh, I'm going to drop it, whatever. And then again, like after you work so much, you're kind of like, hey, what happened to this one song? Like, and then I'm like, what happened to this song? What happened to this? Like, I just like counted off on my hand. I'm like, dang, I probably have like 20, 30 songs that like haven't really like gone anywhere. And I'm just kind of like, oh, why, you know, why is that? And obviously 15, 20 of them, they're not going to be released because, you know, no offense to anybody, like they're just not that great. Or like with whatever I've made with that artist, they're better. Like we've made way better stuff now. And again, that song was a stepping stone to get to the next release that we had. But with that song, you know, he like didn't have plans with releasing it, and you know, the idea like continued to pop in my head, and I was like, oh, it's not the time. Yeah. And now I was finally like, oh, let's celebrate like this quarter life crisis I've been having, turning 25, but also there's like, oh, let's give someone, like, I just want to celebrate something for myself, but then also to give other people something that, you know, could be like, all right, hey, this is a timeline, a stamp, and like, hey, this is where I'm at right now. And just to kind of like reopen people's eyes, like, yes, I'm a producer. Like, I mean, again, some people know that, but still to this day, I think people are confused. Like, what do you do again? Or like, do you just hang out with rappers all day? Or like, what do you even do? I'm like, bro, like I make
They don't understand like the day-to-day grind.
Yeah, or like what kind of music do you make? Everything. Anything. Like,
what do you want?
Yeah, it's like, what do you want? Yeah, tell me. Like, do you want purple? Do you want orange? Do you want green? Do you want a rainbow? Like, I don't care.
And
like, I'll make whatever.
He's from the UK. How did you link up with this person?
Honestly,
with
bro,
Sam?
like similar to how like we linked up on Instagram. Just I don't know. Maybe I wish I could like call Sam and be like, yo, how did we meet, bro? Like, I don't even know. It probably just happened like maybe someone I know posted about him or something. I don't know if we have any mutual followers though, but there was definitely a time period when I first got to Atlanta and I was interning like insane amounts of hours each week. I mean, you're like around the music so much. I was like, bro, I got to sit on Instagram, and I was like studying hashtags and looking up like upcoming artists, and I was discovering like a bunch of people that way. So I don't know. I feel like I just took matters in my own hand and like heard one of his songs or snippets or something, and I was like, oh, he's firing. And again, to me, it doesn't take much to like impress me to be like, ooh, I like you. Like I'm gonna, you know, follow you and and see like what if you're gonna continue to impress me or like fall off and not be an artist, because that stuff happens all the time where like, you know, you find someone that's super dope and then 6 months later they haven't posted a thing, and I'm like, bro, like, are you good? Like, what are you making music? Like,
where did you go?
You know? And, like,
facts.
And then too, I check in with them and they're like, yeah, bro, like something happened, da 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 da. Like I get that, but at the same time, it's like, if you're such a talented artist, you can't stop this, bro. Like it's about consistency.
You gotta keep it going.
You gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
And again, even if you're going through something, you don't have to portray that to the world. You can literally just like, I play it off all the time. Like, oh, bro, I'm killing it. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Some BTS or like behind the
something.
Scenes.
Yeah. And again, like,
you don't gotta be like, hey, this is happening. No, it's just.
How would you say you play it off?
Play it off?
Yeah, you said
I play it off.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's very rare, but like, again, you still know. Okay, I need to post. I usually do like once a week or something, like at least like an Instagram post or whatever. But say I had a bad week or I had a bad day yesterday or whatever. It's like I'm still gonna post. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, forget Instagram. Like I'm just like, no, I put in way too much time, way too much effort to like just fall off or have people forget about me this week. It's like, no, you're gonna remember, and I got something harder to drop next week, and you know, continuously again, like feeding that out into the world, because again, it's nice to know that like, wow, people actually do care.
Facts.
There's some people that care, you know, like obviously not everyone's going to care about every single post you do, but I think it's just about like making an impact and not always looking cool or doing that kind of stuff. And like that for me is like the most important thing, because I'm saying that as I just posted this like flex picture, but it's like, bro, like again, there's a balance. I think you need to do a little bit of everything. Like,
facts.
I want to educate and help people, and that's what like my favorite part of like being on here with you guys, and definitely appreciate that. Is because like I think a lot of people need to shed more light onto like, how do you get to this point? Or like, what do you do? Or
even that's I would say that's one of my favorite things, and that's why I needed to ask like how you get out of that rut or some shit like that, because whoever's tuning in, whoever's watching, they might be going through that rut right now, and they're just like,
absolutely.
All right, fuck yeah, let me just go ahead and post. I'm working on something already. Let me just go ahead and post it, and not just stay recluse.
And that's like, it's just like how you make art. You know, you can't get so caught up on this one song or get so caught up on this one thing. I'm like, I mean, if like for me, I study like, I don't know. I study like obviously like my idols that I grew up loving, like Pharrell and Timbaland and all these like big producers that I looked up to. And, you know, like with them, they had songs dropping every week. They're on the top of the charts every week. And it's like
consistently.
It didn't just happen. It wasn't just like, oh, well, their dad is the record label owner. It's like, no, bro, they were just like undeniably amazing at what they did. But I guarantee they made 1,000 songs and only those 10 songs were on the radio that we're hearing. That's like, oh, wow. So that's the key is the quantity. Yes, it's quality, but like you just gotta like be a machine, bro.
One of my favorite stories from Pharrell is how he would be breaking down how he made beats or produced for other people and then they turned it down or some shit like that, and then he didn't just stop. Like a lot of the time he just switched it and made it to some shit for himself, like Frontin'. Frontin' he made for Prince. Have you heard that? Yeah, and then he just flipped it around and he just made it his song.
Like Hello repurposed the art, or like maybe it's a good thing Prince didn't get on it.
Exactly,
because
we wouldn't have Frontin'.
We wouldn't have And that's like kind of, again, you don't have to look at things as like, oh, this is an L, or dang, I only got this many likes, or my song only got 100 streams. Like, who cares, bro? Like,
that was technically
it really doesn't matter
for him.
100 people.
And two, okay, it might suck for one day, but like, get up and get back going. Like, I'm just so used to losing, and that's what I hate. That like people, I think that's the difference, is like there's certain people that probably grew up just so used to like everything came easy to them, or they got stuff handed to them. I'm like, bro, I'm so used to losing, it's not even funny.
I saw a friend like posting a complaint about how Instagram only lets his third or fourth reel go off, but it still had like 2,000 views. I was like, what's the problem? I'm like, that's 2,000 people. Like,
very sure.
Yeah.
He's like, and his popular ones were like 4,000. I was like, I mean, math, that's half, but 2,000 people is 2,000 people, dude. Like, numbers don't let that trip you out. As long as you're doing the work, like, everything else comes.
Facts.
Yeah, and I think with everything, you're gonna have, you know, the good days and the bad days and whatever. And again, you don't have to look at it like it's a bad day. It's like, all right, this thing didn't go up or whatever. We're obviously like talking about social media kind of stuff, but it's just like a general mindset that you have to have of like, hey, that's okay. I'm going to get back up and keep going.
This is the one.
Facts.
Yeah. And it could not be the one, but keep going. Just do another one, you know?
It's a creative outlet. Like, it's cool to see people posting stuff. Like,
and it's the word outlet for a reason, because you got to get it out, or else if I'm an artist and I just create and hold to myself, you become like a hoarder, bro. And it's that stuff reeks. I don't want to be like this.
I can relate to that shit so much, because even with that mindset, and then just thinking of the word release, I like broke down the word release, because I was like,
break it down for me, bro. I don't like. What does it mean?
We're releasing music, right? So it's like what you're saying. You're not hoarding it. Like, it's not anything unless you release it and put it out into the world for people to react to it and connect to it and shit like that. Because, all right, let's just put it like we're in the studio. You're in the studio, and then you make 100 songs and you hoard all of them. What's the fucking point?
There is no point.
Exactly.
And that's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, and then just to say it to other artists and shit who like want to craft it to the point where it's perfect or some shit. That's
I
so much
hate
time
that.
that you're not releasing.
Facts. Say it
Oh,
again. Wait. Say that
Look
one more
Look
time.
into the camera's eyes.
Say that one more time, please.
GoPro.
There's a lot of people that need to hear this right now.
A lot of people need to hear this. There's no point on making all these things and not releasing it so that other people can't connect and relate to it. And saying that, I'm saying that to myself too, because
Yeah.
there's no point on
We all
honing
say
it
it to
into like,
ourselves.
yeah,
And that's okay. That's a part of like being an artist. But
That's like an L or a depressive state that got you down to it, and you just got to turn it into a motherfucking W. That's where you got to realize it. Like, what's the point of me doing this?
because I think of I don't know, I just live life that way of like, what's the point of any of this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There very well could like not be a point in
Yeah.
anything you do. If you want to think that way, but like
Mm-hmm.
if you think the other way and look at things more positive and like optimistic and again go and actually create and release that stuff out, because
Yeah.
if not, for me it's such an unfulfilling thing to just be like, huh,
For real.
look again, like showing like people know I'm grinding, but oh you have
Yeah.
nothing to show for it. It's like
Another good
What?
day of posting
What's
on
the point?
Instagram that I'm making music.
yeah. and again, I think that's what it all comes down to is like I just want it to be stamped out there in the world, not just
Yeah.
I know I'm working and I know the people that know me know I'm working, but I don't even care about that stuff. It's like it just feels good to release and share this of like, hey bro, like I'm so glad that you love this grown song or you love whatever song it is.
Yeah.
I don't care what song it is. Like it's just like thank goodness, that's awesome that like what I'm doing is out there radiating in the sound waves of the
For
world.
real.
Because again, that to me is like that's how I connect with the world. Is
You have
sound.
no idea
and-
what it's going to be doing to those people.
Yeah.
Like I played in drums and bands, and we played a wedding for someone who met at
shit.
our concert.
That's insane,
Local band,
bro. But still, like
bar,
it doesn't
but-
matter. Yeah.
we played their wedding. It was the coolest thing I've ever done.
And the biggest thing is like remembering that, oh, hey, this does have an impact. This does matter.
Such a
Instead
small
of just
impact.
being like, oh, whatever, like I'm just gonna just drop it. It's like, no, like please like put some effort and thought into like what you're doing, but at the same time, don't overanalyze it to where you're just like, oh, this song's not even good. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
you're the only person that thinks that. Like this song is fire. You could
Yeah.
play it for me fresh, complete, and I hear it and I'm like, what? And you're like, nah, bro, I need to re-record it, and I don't know, there's not enough ad-libs. I'm like, maybe you think that.
I
You-
definitely,
you, like-
me personally, I definitely feel that way about a lot of songs. Like, nah, I gotta get this mix right or some shit.
Bro, that's
with
literally-
you. There's one time I remember when we first connected. I hit you. I was like, he's an engineer. He'd be mixing. Bet that's perfect because I got this one fucking song. In that song in particular, everyone kept saying they liked that song, and I didn't drop it. And people were like, where the fuck is that song at? And me personally, I just thought the mix was a little wonky, but I reached out to you and you're like, bro, this is good. And
Just
I was
drop
trying
it,
to I was
yeah.
trying to get you to mix it and you're like, "Bro, it's good."
just do it. Yeah, because that's the thing is like, that's honestly, that's like a point I want to touch on because
Yeah.
that's where my opinion kind of gets a little skewed sometimes.
Okay.
It's because think about it. If you're the person that's paying me, I'm the producer and I recorded you and I'm like, hey bro, drop it. Like when I'm saying that, I'm not saying it in a way of like, I'm trying to make money off you. Like, come
Yeah,
on, bro.
yeah,
Like,
hell yeah.
let me lure you in and like, oh, I'm going to rob you
We
from
about
this
to make
song.
money off of this.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not selling this like false hope, false dream. I'm coming from like this like brotherly, whatever like perspective, just being like, bro, like, come on, we got a banger. Like, let's drop it.
Yeah,
I'm not
hell
doing
yeah.
it from like, oh dang bro, I'm not paying rent this month, like oh
Yeah.
crap, I really need some money, or like
Yeah.
again with your song I wasn't like, yeah bro, like nah, I need to mix it, you know, like send me that money
Yeah.
right now, come on. And again, I could say that every day to hundreds of people, but it's
Hey,
like no,
that's some honorable shit. I want to add that in there too about fucking mileage because I was trying to pay him to mix this song because I was hating the mix and he was like, bro,
he was tripping.
that shit is good. That shit is
And
good.
just drop it, bro. Like, because that's the thing. Is
Yeah.
like 9 times out of 10. Oh, okay, I lied. Half the time when I'm mixing, yes, I'm saving the whole song and like making it from 50% to 100%.
Yeah.
But there's the other half, 3/4 of the time, or 1/4 of the time, or whatever. All I'm doing is a 10%. Like you have the song at 90%. My last little things are I'm just gonna make that kick knock harder.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like little fine-tuned nerdy things that you're not even gonna hear. You're not like no one's gonna really know, but like I'm gonna know. And if you're playing for the big dogs in the industry or whatever, like they're gonna hear those little differences of like, oh,
And they
okay,
could,
yeah,
just,
the Tidal Hi-Fi listeners will know,
Shout
but
out
like,
Tidal.
and they could just feel it. Like the shit you're doing right there, it's like some feeling shit.
yeah, but too like if I hear a song that already has no feeling, it doesn't matter. How am I gonna add feeling to a song that's just kind of like, meh, it's mid
That's a
or
good
like,
point.
oh, this
Hell
just
yeah,
doesn't.
that's a good ass point.
But like again, when I heard your song, I'm like, ooh, okay, the energy's right and the feeling's there. You're
Yeah.
on time, and even if you were a little off time,
Yeah.
all right, whatever. Like there's certain rap styles that, bruh, yeah, every time I'm like, you're kind of off beat, bro.
Yeah.
But they're just like, nah, bro, don't nudge it. Like I had one artist like
did it on
snap at me
purpose?
one time. He was like, did you just move the vocal? And I was like, yeah, I nudged it a little. And he's like, bro, move it back right now. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like
That's
this is
funny.
like, and this is like very early on too. I was I was honestly scared of this artist at the time. I was like, all right, well, my bad. Lesson learned. Don't nudge rappers' vocals all the
Yeah.
time. But
Ever heard of the metronome?
for real. But anyways, like
That-
it's all
there's
going. It's a
there's
vibe.
a good point to it because right now I would say on certain songs I have a style to where it's like I'll be on time, but I'll purposely be off time just because I might be on some narration shit.
There
Like
is
you
a
know how I am
difference,
with
yeah.
live performances and shit.
Yeah.
I might turn it into like some live performance shit on the song and just start talking.
And you're
Or
the
just-
artist. You decide the
Yeah.
vision. Like I'm not here to make that decision
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I'm just a little editor trying to like do my little. I'm just playing my part for real. You know,
Like I'll hear a track like to reference one of your like I'll hear someone be on like an early bird song, just
Yeah.
like, doop, 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 doop. But like I like swing, like don't get me wrong, but like it is like they're coming in on the 3/4 of the and or something like
or
that.
some people really have no beat at all, bro. Like they
Very
have no
true.
rhythm. I'm like,
Very true.
I'm like, what?
you were not in band. I'm like, I can tell you were not in band. Like your dad did not get you a guitar, or mom, or whoever it was. Like, man, they should have got you one. But hey, even if they got you one, doesn't mean you can have rhythm. We were not all blessed that way.
Hey, look to add on to it, right?
I know. I was like,
There's-
dang, bro. We were talking about the album, and now we just went like off into space.
It was a
I'd be
good
like
it was
that
a
all
good
the
little
time.
tangent though. It was a good
Oh,
little
this
tangent.
this might be full of tangents.
There was
We haven't lost
there's
everyone yet.
there's another song I like a lot, and it's "Want to Be,"
Oh yes,
and
I love that one. Shout out Brett Bones.
I liked how pure and real it was, and just the overall vibe that it was
Right.
bringing. But it was one of those songs, like I was vibing and the shit he was talking about, I was like, oh, he fucking nailing this shit. Like this, yeah, like this shit is good. Like this is the type of shit that I like to hear in songs just because it gets so real. Did it turn
Seriously.
off already? All right, cool.
Oh
Yep.
no, that's fire.
And then
And we got.
I like
shout
I
out
like
the-
facts on this one too, but I like spaced out maybe a little bit halfway through the song and just got to thinking about life type
Right.
shit, and that's how you know it's a
Good.
good
I'm
song.
glad, bro.
That's how you
Like-
know it's a good song because like. At that point it was just playing in the background and it was just like white noise because anything around me was just irrelevant at that point because I got so
We
in
took you
I got
somewhere.
so in
We
my
took
head.
you to a different space, like-
You took me somewhere and it
And
was,
in a
it was a
2.5
good it was a
minute
good
song.
place that I went.
No, yeah, in a good way. Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
it wasn't this like.
Yeah,
dark. I'm like,
and-
no. It should be like.
And thinking of it like that, it's funny because it's like an equilibrium of like nothing's too bad or nothing's too good when you're in a space like that because
yeah.
you can easily and cohesively go between all of it and figure out shit. Just simply. I was going to keep going on with that, but it's just like it put me in a space of being able to figure out shit. And that was a beautiful place to be.
And I think that's like the most important thing is like to stop and recognize that, because I think a
For
lot of
real.
times, me especially, because I will tell you that whole song was like almost my own personal therapy session
Fire.
from Brett to me. Like,
Fire.
and the whole time we were making that song was literally just like a direct reflection of like, I'm just like sitting there telling him like, dang, bro, like there's so many more things I feel like I need to accomplish, and the world like taints our head and makes us think like you're not good enough yet, or you're
Yeah.
not this, you're not that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, screw those thoughts. Like, yes, I am. Like, it's okay to want to be this or to like have these big aspirations, and like you're gonna have people that hate on that and jealous people that are just like on your back the whole time and all that kind of stuff. But like it's still okay to sit back and think and to be like, dang, I just really want to do this or I want to do that. And we wanted to kind of keep it open ended of like, I don't know, want to be what? It's like, I don't know, like I want to be a better person or I want to be this or I want to be a superstar. Like I want to, you know, like whatever any of those things are for me. It's like just kind of like opening your eyes and again, getting out of the daily grind that we're all a part of. And like for me,
just
especially, I just like, I run myself through it, bro. Like there's like, honestly, last year, from January to July, pretty much, you can ask anyone that's worked with me. Like I was working probably 10 hours a day, recording every single day.
Just delete the old shit.
F the old ish.
Okay.
That's lit. Oh no, you're good. We'll edit that. Y'all edit. I'm like, I'm not a good
yeah, but you left off on the like working 10 hours a day type shit.
Bro, yeah, and like Sundays are my like one off day that I think that's essential, is like you need to have a day where you reset. But yeah, when Brett and I made that song, I think it was like May or something, and bro, I was just like, again, living it, killing it, whatever. But at the same time, you got to stop and zoom out and be like, what is the point of all this? Or like what, again, kind of like what we were saying earlier about, you know, like what is the point of making music if you're not releasing it? Like I think I was like dealing with that effect, but to the 10th degree, because I'm working with like so many people, and you know, you see that and you're just kind of like, oh, what am I doing? Like I'm helping these people make their music and stuff, but I had to like zoom out and be like, but what am I doing, or where am I going, or what do I want to be? You know, like I didn't really know, bro, like because I'm just, oh, I got another session today and I got another this, and again, I'm sitting there like so grateful for it and being like, oh my gosh, this is my dreams coming true. But at the same time, I was like, don't get too caught up in like your quote unquote dreams coming true, because you got to know what your real dream is. Because I think it's very easy to like get something that comes your way and be like, ooh, I like this. And it's like, okay, yeah, but like, is it really like what you were dreaming of? Or like, are you just, and again, I'm very like.
What would you say your big dream is? Or even if it's not dream, like long-term goal type shit.
No, I'll just say it. I don't give a crap.
Okay, cool.
Like, I've had this dream like so many times.
Yeah.
That's why I know I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally just to like be at the level that someone like Benny Blanco and Kenny Beats and all these people like.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Where again, I have a catalog of like a plethora of all different types of genres, all types of artists. I can wake up and I don't have to be like, oh, dang, I really need to record today. I want to be able to just like get on my phone and call like, like, dang, I wonder what's Justin Bieber doing today? Like, yo, bro, like pull up, come over, like let's make something, or like, you know, or vice versa. Like the weekends call me being like, hey, bro, like, can you come add some guitar on this song or whatever? Like, that's like, and again, these are all like, yeah, right, bro. Like these are far-fetched dreams. I'm like,
hell no.
It's not like it's really not that
like you're on the way to
and
that
it's not that far-fetched actually either. Like once you're like, for me, I've been around so many like big industry people, and again, when I say big industry people, I mean like record label execs to superstar artists, and I'm seeing them being like, wait, we're all normal regular people here. Like sure, you might have a financial account that looks crazy, like you have 20 million times more the money I have, but it's like at the end of the day, we're still people, and like it doesn't, all that stuff doesn't really matter. But like your goals from mine, I've like been in those rooms and been like, oh, it's not that far. But again, the world likes to make it seem like you're never gonna get there, and oh, it's so hard to be this big superstar producer you want to be, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, bro, it just takes time, and it just takes the consistent effort, and and then again, something's gonna happen, and off I go. I'll be floating and be like, yes, and then again, like
fucking time, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then hopefully you know how to learn how to fly, or like hopefully you know how to fly once you get to that point. That's the most important part. Is like, I think that it's a dangerous industry we're in that realm.
I'm listening.
Just because you can literally like have that overnight success, for example, and then say you're not ready for it, you could plummet back down in 2 or 3 months after that, and then all that hard work was for nothing. You know.
A lot of people think that's the only way to do it too. Like,
Yeah.
they all think we're just shooting for overnight success.
It's like, no, bro. You want to be sustainable. You want to like. For me, I'm like, no. I'm having a career in this industry.
Yeah.
Again, that's
Yeah.
part of my dream. Is not just, be like, everyone's like, oh, I know Mileage. Like he did this song. That I'm like, no, I don't. It's not about that. It's like I want to just like be around doing this stuff for forever, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I can't forever, but
Yeah.
shoot, bro, I'm trying to be in the industry till I'm like 70.
I wanted to ask you, how important do you think taking time off is? Because you kind of chimed in on it at the beginning of the dream.
Yeah.
And you're speaking about how you're in the studio like 10 hours a day, just all the time, grinding it out all the time. And then it got to a point where you thought of how you're going to be thinking of it long term. Yeah, and how you're going to be thinking of it long term, and you might not be wanting to do that like long term. Like you don't want to be in the studio 10 hours a day type shit.
Yeah, because like I want to last.
Okay.
And I know there is no way. What is 10 times 6, bro?
60?
Yes. 60 hours a week times
Crazy.
that by 4
Yeah.
of just sitting at the computer like grinding through song and like song.
Yeah.
Like it was just absolutely insane. And again, you can zoom out and be like, wait, that was awesome, that was cool and all, but
Facts.
wait, I need to make an adjustment. Like for me, I have to like recalibrate myself and like take a step back from things. Honestly, every month or two at this point.
What would you say the adjustment from working the 10 hours a day? What would you
I'm
say
like,
the adjustment? What would you say the adjustment was from then until now? How you're trying to reconstruct it?
Well, so yeah, this was happening the whole beginning of the year, and then the shift was having to move out. So that was kind of like this impending due date, essentially, where I was like, all right, July. I knew, okay, I need to figure out like what's next. Like, am I just gonna live in the same apartment and do the whole roommate situation, or am I gonna like get my own commercial studio? Am I gonna move? Am I gonna this? Am I gonna that? Like, I don't know. There's so many like ideas going on, but that's why I think that time was like such a weird thing as well, because I'm going like 1,000,000 miles an hour, but at the same time, like I wasn't slowing down to think of like, oh crap, what's my next move? Because like again, if you're it's good focus on the daily grind, but if you don't have a destination of where you're going, back to what we said, what's the point?
Yeah, facts.
Why are you even working, bro? Like,
Or
again, if I'm gonna make this beat, where's it going? Who am I making this for?
Yeah.
I've like totally changed my mindset. Whereas like I used to just be like, it's cool, bro. Like I'm just making this for me, or it's just fun. And like it is fun. It is like it's like my self therapy that I making music all the time
Like
for
the Want
myself
to Be
and for
song.
other people. Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, you gotta like again know where things are going. So with the studio kind of stuff is like I knew it got to the point where I'm like, bro, I'm working way too much. This is just not worth it. I don't know. I was having like imposter syndrome as well, of like kind of wondering like who am I? Like what am I doing? Or like where am I going? And then again, I have to keep reminding myself like, whoa, I have like huge big dreams. And I kind of saw myself getting sucked into the studio world, which again, I love recording and I love making music, but at the core of that, it's like I love producing music and making it with someone. Recording it is different. It's like I love recording it when I'm sitting there being like, oh, word, you just wrote something to my beat or to like a song that I did.
Yeah.
There's probably like, half those sessions I was doing were like, we're just doing random YouTube beats and I'm just like, literally all I'm doing is recording them. And, it's like, okay, you're getting paid for the hour and stuff, but it's not as like a fulfilling thing. You don't really feel like an artist.
Yeah.
And then half the time you're not really getting credit on the song. It's just kind of like, oh, whatever. I could have recorded a song by Drake or someone, but I mean, you get to say you recorded Drake, but other than that, there's no like, that's kind of the end of the road. Is like, okay, cool, you recorded this. Like for me, I'm just like, no, I want to,
have a more fulfilling experience with it.
Yeah. And again, like have more of an impact instead of just like, oh, you're the guy that pressed the record button. Like, it just like doesn't feel as good. So anyways, like I think with that being said is when I had to just be like, all right, I'm not going to do this like commercial recording route. I could have, I could have like gone and opened my own studio and been like, "Bet I'm gonna do this." I was like, "No, I'd much rather be like this, you know, exclusive producer that people can come and work with and bring their song ideas from me completely from scratch." Like, bro, I've never made a song before. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I like your voice. You sound really good. Let's make something from scratch right now and do it. And an hour or two later, what? We're already done. Or like, dang, we just made this.
Hell
I'm like,
yeah.
like, bro, I do this. Like, I do this every
fucking
single
do
day.
this,
And like,
yeah.
again, now it's to the point where, you know, my timeline, I have so much more time to like refocus on myself and to, again, improve myself. Cause like, how can someone pay me to make a song with them when I'm not even like fully there? My head's kind of running all over the place because I'm just like, dang, bro, it's hour 9. I just did 4 other sessions, 12 songs. This is my 14th song of the day. Like, I remember one day I had 14 songs in a day with people, and I'm just like, I'm killing it. But the other half of me was like, you're low key like killing yourself too, you know? Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I definitely had to
balance, bro. Balance. That is the word. Like,
I had
if you
to
don't
ask
have
about
balance,
that, like just grinding so much. Because like when I first started painting, I went through something similar. Even till like
an
the
obsession,
beginning
right?
of this
Like
year,
it took
like
you-
an
yeah.
obsession. Like anyone who was
Hyperfixation.
around me, like they would know it was kind of similar. Like I'd literally wake up, paint till I fell asleep. Wake up, do some type of art till I fell asleep. And then I would say even like more so recently, it got to the point where I was like, what's the point of going that hard? And then is this something that I want to do long term? Like if I see myself in the future.
And like, who are you trying to prove this to, right?
Right.
Like that's what I had to have similar conversations with myself. I'm like, am I proving this to my Instagram fans or like my family, or like my family doesn't really like, they just want me to be happy. Like, again, people that really love you and care about you.
Yeah.
They just want you to be happy, bro. And like,
Facts.
you got to really dig down and be like, am I happy? And you know, it's pretty easy to find out that question. You should know right now. It's like, are you happy? It's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And again, why? Because I made X, Y, Z changes.
Yeah.
You know, and you got, like I said, that's why you have to constantly have that like 2 to 3 month analysis of yourself. Shoot, bro, maybe even like a weekly. I do a weekly analysis of myself every Sunday. I'm like,
Sunday's a good
all right, like
time
it's
to
the
have
chill
that shit,
day.
though.
I'm at church, like, and then I get home from church, and then I'm wondering like, how can I like do better? Or who do I need to reach out to today and like check in with too? Because like it's one day where I'm not gonna be sitting at my computer like punching away, you know, whatever the beat is or whatever the song is. It's one day to just kind of like reconnect of like things that are really important, you know, like family and friends and all that kind of stuff. Because again, like, yes, music's this great thing that we all have, but at the same time, it's not my life. It's not, okay, it's kind of my life, but it's not the only thing I'm like working for.
Yeah.
There's so much more that you need to have a touch with reality and like, again, have conversations with yourself. Like, bro, my head all the time, I'm talking to myself in my head and being like, oh, okay, Miles, you need to do this or you need to do that. And like, I'm constantly hyping myself up, or there's obviously days where I'm like, dang, you suck. Like that beat was garbage, or wow, why did you stay up till 3 a.m. playing video games, you idiot? Like you should have gone to bed, you know? But like, it's good. You learn from these things and you're like, all right, well, I'll go to bed at 2 next time or something. Like,
I want to chime off of that, and it may branch off to somewhere else, but you're not even video games, but you're saying like music being your life. What are some hobbies or shit you're interested in outside of music?
Moment of silence. Really just music, bro. But no. Like I said, the pinnacle shift of my time, I guess finally I didn't even like round it up, but introducing like giving yourself more free time to do fun stuff. I kept missing out on like, oh, my friends inviting me to go bowling, and again, I don't have like, at the time I didn't have a ton of friends up here, so it's easy to just get lost in the sauce and work because for me it's like, oh, I'm not lonely, I'm working. Or that was like kind of my blanket excuse, was like, oh darn, I can't go to the movies, or I can't go bowling with my friends, or Top Golf or whatever.
I'm in the studio. I got no time for this
and
other
people
shit.
know, like they know what's up. Like, I'm not even gonna invite Mileage because you know he's busy working, and I'm like,
same.
you know,
I
and
got
it's
this shit.
lame. It's like, dang, bro, like I'm literally like isolating myself away from these things because of work. Like, no offense, sure, some of the sessions, yes. Like, I'm not gonna miss this session with, I don't want to name drop things, but it's like I'm not gonna miss this artist with this big artist. I'm not gonna miss the session. But other people, it's like, no offense, bro, I love your music, but come on, we could wait till tomorrow. Like, it's Friday night. I got invited to Topgolf, or I got invited to go bowling, or whatever the activity was. Like, I live for those types of things. Like, not to just, I gotta make one more song. Like, no, I don't. Bro, I got enough songs to freaking destroy everyone's catalog. Like, my goodness. And even if I didn't, even if I had 3 songs, still, what's more important? Like, you got to take that time to like go see your friends.
You could get the inspiration for that 4th one at Topgolf.
Exactly, or wherever, or driving in the car to Topgolf. That's usually how
you could write the best bowling song ever.
Yeah, or like I met another artist at the bowling alley or whatever, or I didn't meet anyone. It doesn't matter to me. I got to do something.
Maybe they were already going there after too. Like, oh shit, we'll just go early now.
I mean, yeah, I've had random things like that I've just been like, oh, thank goodness I wasn't just a turtle in my shell tonight. I'm glad I went out because then I met this person and the wheel kind of like spun. But yeah, bro, I would say like obviously I said the recreational activities like that kind of stuff. When I say that, I mean like those kind of things.
Yeah, like I know, like Topgolf and shit like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, video games have picked those back up a little bit more.
What game?
I've been playing the new Halo.
I like the new Halo
Fire.
a lot.
I missed my PlayStation for sure. I'm on PlayStation since day one, but since they didn't hire me, I was like, I gotta peace out on you, PlayStation. Like, I'm gonna remember that, you guys in San Diego. Like, they didn't hire me, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick to Xbox. But yeah, bro, I mean, video game, and then I'm big into sports, that kind of stuff. So I grew up playing every sport you can imagine. And yeah, I've just been like really big in like fitness and going to the gym and that kind of stuff. I was running every other day the whole like first chunk of the year. Yeah. And then I was finally like, I need to go back in the gym. I was running because I didn't want to go to the gym because I hate like going to the gym and being like, dang, bro, like there's so many people in here and like this guy's on this machine and I can't get in there. Like, I just hate when, obviously I'm kind of an impatient person, but
just start it and stop it. Fuck it. Okay.
Oh, no. I would just get annoyed at that kind of stuff. So with running, it's like, all right, cool, you can literally just go out and run. But yeah, I've been doing that stuff a lot more recently, and yeah, I don't know, I just chilling, bro, hanging out with people. Like, again, outside of music, and I hang out with people that I make music with too. Yeah. But like, yo, let's go do something else instead of like, it feels weird, bro. It's like people are like paying to hang out with me too, in a way, if you think about it. When people come to record with me, you're kind of like paying to hang out with me. So it's kind of this weird, which like, I mean, you're hanging out with me, but I'm also working for you and we're also like working together and it's all these kinds of things. But yeah, it's like a funny balance that, I mean,
so you have your own studio that's like away from where you live, right?
No.
Now? Okay.
So that's like what happened in August was I got my own place. And I was like so thrilled with all that stuff. I had to move back to Savannah for like 2 weeks, so I just kept my stuff up in a storage unit here. Yeah, and it kind of put everyone in like a weird position. There was like some other like one of my best friends, like he had some family, some deaths in his family, and again that's kind of like right after the Want to Be situation where like I saw his aunt and his grandma died literally within the same like week or two, and it's crazy like what that did to me. I literally just like dropped everything while I was doing it, and I'm just like, that's what kind of like woke me up to be like, what is the point of this? Like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And like, and again, it wasn't even like I just like haven't experienced like a death of anyone I'm close to in a really long time. Like, I'm not trying to experience that, but like that
So would you say those deaths like had
absolutely
the most impact out of anyone who's passed away?
Yeah, and I haven't even like. And again, it wasn't even for me. It was literally seeing what it did to my best friend. I saw that and I was just like, oh my gosh, bro, this is real. Or like, wow, life isn't You know, like I can't take and obviously too, like I can sit here and rant on about all the other rappers that I'm just so frustrated that we've lost as well. Like the Juice WRLD thing, I'm about to watch that documentary.
Yeah,
Losing
I
Pop
still gotta watch
Smoke,
that too, yeah.
like losing Lil Peep and Extentacion, all them. Like obviously there's hundreds, thousands of other people that I'm forgetting, but like it's terrible that we even have to like talk about that kind of stuff. But it's like, bro, this is real. This is not forever. We don't have this like. It's not a video game, bro. You don't get a restart button, or you can't just like, you know, do whatever you want. There's definitely some consequences.
But those 2 deaths were ones that like made you step back and think
bro,
about
absolutely,
shit
yeah.
in the
And
same
I
way.
canceled the rest of my month of, or I had like 2 weeks left in July, but I knew I was going back home, and I went home early, and I was like, forget this, like. I need to just like help tend to this right now, and again, like I just sat at home and kind of was like, now what? Or like, what am I doing, or what am I gonna do? And then, anyways, like, obviously, like August comes around, and I got my new spot, and you know, kind of just made the necessary changes where I was like, all right, I'm gonna prioritize like myself first, as opposed to like I'm always getting text, hey, bro, can you send me the clean version of this song? Hey, bro, can you send me this song from 8 months ago? Da 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 da, and then like you go to bed and you wake up. Oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And like, sure, some of this is like, you know, half of it's like work that I'm going to get paid for. But the other half is just like, just kind of like, oh, come on, you know, like, and like, that's the side of, and people don't realize like what an engineer really deals with when you work with a crap ton of people is like, you don't see the social side of like people texting you all the time and all that kind of stuff. And like, again, it's cool. It's nice. But at the same time, like I said, I was like looking at that being like, oh, what am I doing? Or, oh, I need some more time to kind of like chill and like do me, because I'm not just like working for everyone else's music. It's like, oh, I want to like do my own stuff as well. And,
Facts.
you know, I'm trying to leave my own imprint, not just be the guy behind it all working his freaking butt off to help everyone else. Like, I'm all for, you know, helping people, but at the same time, you gotta like help yourself as well.
That's a fact.
Can't just be a giver the whole time,
That's
bro.
a fact.
Like,
That's a fact.
give it to yourself too. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You're speaking about going back home to Savannah and that too, and you know we've been having a very good conversation, but I wanted to
We're killing it.
jump
Thank
back to the beginning. It's a funny time to jump back to the beginning because
No, it's fine. We can like.
But so I did watch a good portion of your interview podcast you did with one
more time,
right?
Heck yeah!
So
shout
I've
out
been conscious
H3.
about not overlapping.
Shout out Ben.
Shout out to them one more time.
My boys. Yeah,
shout out to them one more time.
I know.
Like
I'm like,
that.
yeah,
I
they're gonna like that. It's like, oh.
Yeah. But I've been conscious about not overlapping things you've already spoke
absolutely.
about.
I'm glad, bro. Thank you so much.
No problem.
If we would have had this thing, I would have just been like,
gotta
bruh,
have that respect for it.
I was like, no, I know there's no way like we would talk about the exact same. There's like absolutely no way.
As with me, right? I want to ask family question because for me, even art being something that I pay bills from and shit. People in my family are still like, you
bro, but like round of applause to that like for real.
That's
like,
a fact. That's a fact. Hey.
I mean, for real.
Hey,
shout out to everyone out there paying the bills off art. Like it's insane.
For real. Like
you can do it. It's possible. It's not.
Yes.
It's not that far fetched. But yeah, bro. What were we saying? I had to like shout that out because that's a big deal, bro. It's not something to just take lightly.
That's a fact. So I wanted to ask about when you first started to have people come into the studio and just grinding out making songs with these people. Were you making noise that was a problem for your household at all during these sessions?
not at all.
Okay.
So that's like kind of the coolest part is like there was no household beef or like whatever because I'm the youngest out of my 3 other siblings, so there's 4 of us.
Nice. I'm the youngest too.
Oh, dude, heck yeah! How many siblings?
3.
3?
Okay, 3, and then I grew up with my step siblings too. So there's 7 of us all together.
Dang.
Yeah,
dude, that's lit. That's awesome. How many?
And I'm the youngest out of even the step siblings.
Even all
too.
that. Dang. Yeah. So then you exactly like know what it's like, but eventually it gets to the point where like the house became my kind of like domain where it's like, bet I play video games in my brother's old room, like, and that's like an extra bedroom that I would sometimes sleep in, you know, because he's like since moved out and all that good stuff. And again, I'm speaking on like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever, but then like my sister had her room, and it literally came to the point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna have like a room to just chilling downstairs. My sister's room, my mom confiscated her room and like turned it into this craft room and all that stuff. And it's always a mess. Mom, you need to clean it up. But bro, she's been working on it for years, but it's cool. She'll get it clean eventually.
Yeah.
So anyways, like she got that room, and then
it's dope she'd be working on some type of craft though.
it's lit. Yeah. Like, and then, like my dad like has his little like office upstairs and stuff. And bro, like it's definitely like a very creative household, creative, artsy / sporty kind of house kind of thing. But then I turned my room into the studio, and I remember one of these days, like I was recording one of my homies, Will, who, with him, shout out Wit, the rapper, Wit, the artist. He's like one of my day one homies. He's literally like my first paying client back in 2018 is when it first started. Cause I started recording very end of 2017. And again, I was just doing with like
one of your first paying clients.
He is the first paying client.
Were you friends with him before this?
Like we played soccer against each other and like knew of each other type stuff, and like, you know, high school parties, whatever, rival high schools. Like we would, you know, run into each other every once in a while, but like we weren't like that close or anything. But anyways, I mean, I told him, I was like, oh, you know, recording with me is like $20 an hour. And I'm sure there's some people that are hearing that being like, dang, I wish I got in with you and you were $20 an hour. And it's like, no, like he pays my rate now. Like he's not on this like grandfathered in. Like he just like has so much respect for me, and, you know, just such a great friend with that kind of stuff. But again, anyways, like this man would drive down from Athens, bro, to work with me. Would book an hour or 2 hour session. I'm like, bro, you're spending like 20, 40 bucks, like whatever it was, just to make like a song or two all the way from Athens. Like I was like, what? You're crazy. But then I was just like, again, he did it again and again and again and again. And I'm just like, wow. Like
those type of people set the tone for like, if you're a stranger, you should definitely be more than willing to pay whatever I ask for and shit. Yeah. Because like, these people who can
and it's
get
the
a discount,
commitment, bro, of driving. Like it's not just paying, or again, the discount thing or the whatever, like
being a friend. Yeah.
That's what blew my mind. Is I'm just like, I'm the type, I'm like, dang, like obviously now living in Atlanta, it's like, all right, everything's at least 30 minutes away. But like where I come from in Savannah, it's like, bruh, if someone was like 10, 15 minutes away, I was already kind of like, I might just like not go to this party or this like my friend's house or the basketball game or whatever it was. We were like, nah, let's do something else. Cause you're just like kind of lazy and just being like, whatever. But now I'm like, man, I have a couple other people that will like drive up and visit with me and, you know, drive 3-4 hours or whatever. And that's just like insane that, again, you like hold your art to that certain standard.
Yeah.
But anyways, like back to the moral of the story with him is they helped move my bed out. And then like we transformed my room into that. And then I was like, cool, I'll just sleep in my other sister's room. So it like all kind of like worked out. And just super thankful that like, you know, my parents were allowing that. And bro, I had people over all the time, and it just kind of became like, it became a thing. And again, like I got to play music kind of as loud as I wanted. And I didn't have sessions like going super late at night because my bedroom was like right above, and then my parents were like down below.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's still sweet to like, again, be able to get things going and not wait. Because I think that's the thing for a lot of people is like they're waiting, being like, oh, well, once I get this thing, then I'll start my artist career. Or once this happens, then I'm in. And I'm just like,
I got caught in a little bit of that.
I mean, we all do.
Yeah,
it's okay. Like, it's okay. But it's also like, it's okay to smack yourself in the face and be like, come on, get it together. Like, start now. You know, or this whole like, obviously with like New Year's and stuff coming up, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with New Year's resolutions, but I'm a big believer in like, just start it now. Like,
facts.
Why are you waiting till January? Like, what does January have to do with anything? Like, oh, well, it's month number 1. Yes, but like, whenever you had that thought of, oh, I should do this, go do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I have this thing I have that's called Live in the End. So if there's any piece of art where I'm like writing words and shit, I'll make sure to add that in there, live in the end. And say like with you, He's saying your dream of being a producer who can more so curate experiences for people and
Exactly.
be able to do that. And then with me, it's kind of similar. I would like to house and create experiences with people. The person I think of first whenever I think of that is Rick Rubin. Just like how he has this sanctuary to where like
Bruh.
when people feel like they're down bad, they go to the fucking sanctuary with Rick Rubin, and then you guys don't even make music right away. He's just like,
did you see that little Dicky episode?
yes, yeah.
I know. I was
I'm glad you've seen that. So
Yeah.
it's like, that's what I'd like to do. Like future dream wise, like you come, you're in the sanctuary, like Mac Miller. Teach him some meditation or something. Just paint.
Absolutely.
Just do something to get out of your mind and get shit going. Why did I start saying that? Why did I start saying this? What was I gonna say? How did I start it?
You're writing on the paintings.
Live in the end,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that's how I'd like to
Paying
think of
attention.
myself. Yeah, you on it. That's how I'd like
I'm
to
on.
think of myself in the future, right? So it's like not waiting, like you said, until you acquire something or until you reach some type of milestone to do something. Live in the end is just do it now. Whatever you could do that.
I love that. Can you like?
Yeah. So live in the end. I'm gonna write it up
You
full
need to make
circle
bro
for
like
you.
make stickers or like something. Like
Yes.
come on, bro.
So
That'd be
it's-
fire.
So live in the end is wherever you see yourself in the future, envision that, and whatever you could do now that encapsulates that or relates to that, just do it now.
yeah.
Just do it now.
Exactly, bro. And that's again, that's why I'm so like happy and satisfied with like how everything is, because I'm literally, it's just the small scale version of my dream. That's all it is. And like at the end of the day, I'm still living exactly what I would like hope for, and it's only like better and better of like, you know, what I ever could have imagined. But it's just dope to like be able to actually sit back and realize like, okay, wow, you can do this. And again, it comes to the point where once you prove yourself wrong like 3 or 4 times, you're kind of just like, oh yeah, this was stupid of me to just be like, oh, just wait till New Year or wait till this. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, it to me, like, bro, procrastination is the devil. Like that, it's the devil, the negative energy, whatever you want to call. Like, it doesn't matter. But it's like, I don't want to just be stuck in the same spot, the same thing, like being a little robot caught in the system. I got my 9 to 5 and I make X amount of money a year. I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like, I don't know how much money I make a year. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like living life to the fullest and to the extreme. Like,
Hell yeah.
I want to live life like this mountain climber that people are like, oh my gosh, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or this man's crazy. Or look at what
Yeah.
he just did. He's doing like
and it's
backflips
something
into
that
mosh pits. And
might spark them into doing some
There's
shit.
a YouTube
Yeah.
channel that a buddy showed me that, like, I mean, is literally, I make my roommates watch it every time I'm upstairs now. It's called Yes Theory. But, like,
Have you heard of that?
I definitely need to look it
it's
up.
literally, they'll be like, they'll go to people's houses. They'll be like, hey, we have a trip to go around the world. You have to leave right now. Do you want to go? And they're like, no. But then eventually they'll find the most perfect person, like, that fully embodies that whole spirit. It's literally just kick ass, like people grabbing life by the horns and just running with it.
Yeah, and I finally like learned like, oh, that's the way to be. Like, you can't,
It's what I keep
because
reminding
things will
myself
just
of.
pass
Oh,
you
my
by,
water.
and you're gonna sit back and be like, dang, I wish I would have said yes in that moment, or like, man, like, I think I told myself that early on. I was like, no, I just don't want to live a life with like any regrets, and that's like hard to say. And again, there was like, I remember that time too. This brings me back to like high school when it's like YOLO, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, my dad
no
really-
regrets, like on the chest and stuff. And I'm just like, no, but seriously, like, I don't want to like look back and be like, oh yeah, kids, like I could have been this big producer. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
I was in the room with Future and Travis Scott and all these people, and it's like, okay, cool, but like, what? Why didn't you do anything with that? Or like, what? Like, you didn't actually fulfill your dream.
Even if your story is, I was in the room and they didn't like my beat, at least like you have a story.
least
of
you have that
getting
beat.
yourself getting in that room too.
Like I was in this room playing on my
Like-
beats, they didn't like it, and then you're
and it's like, that's hard. And then
Yeah, right.
then next year you have a song with them, and it's like,
Yeah.
I remember when you didn't like it or whatever.
To tell about.
And like, art's subjective. I don't care if you don't like this one beat.
Absolutely,
I got 700 others that you're gonna like.
Absolutely.
Bunch of
Before we
crazy dreamers.
move on too much, you brought up procrastination and like just powering through it. How would you say? First, why do you think you run into procrastination, and then how do you defeat procrastination?
I'm about to stand up for this one, bro. So I will say the difference between me and a lot of people is I had a time I couldn't procrastinate, bro. I think a lot of people like forget, and I said, I'm just like, well, what do you mean? Like, do you like, you guys remember in high school and stuff where like there's a time period, hey, this test is Friday or this paper is due this day. Like,
Yeah.
sure, you could push it off to the last minute and stuff, but like at the end of the day, there's a thing called a deadline. And
Yep.
like once that thing hits around, oh shoot, the paper's due, or like, oh crap, I got to turn in my whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter, but like, I think a lot of people, like once they graduated or once, you know, even post college or even if you didn't go to college, like it doesn't matter. You just kind of like escape from that reality and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
now there's no more due dates, there's no more this, there's no more that. And it's like, yeah, it's nice to like realize that, but at the same time, you got to like be in control and set guidelines and like certain expectations and rules and again, like have these deadlines, or else like we said earlier, you're just gonna procrastinate and push off that song
Yeah.
and be like, oh, it's not good enough and it's not this, it's not that, it's whatever. Because I could sit and nitpick it forever,
Facts.
you know. But I think that's the part. Is like, again, you can't, you know, when procrastination can creep in
Yeah.
is when you're like sitting there just being kind of like, what am I doing, or I don't know. Like if you're getting bored with something or you're not sure like where you're going with it, it's super easy to like get caught up in the other stuff. But again, as long as you're focusing on like wherever your goal or wherever you have your sights set, then I think you're going to be good to go and completely be able to like overcome whatever kind of procrastination comes your way. But like I said, the only way to beat the crap out of procrastination is set a goal or set a deadline.
Set goals and
if you don't
deadlines.
have
Hell
goals
yeah,
or
I like that.
deadlines, bro, you're gonna just push it off.
I like that.
And then once you push it off for long enough, you're gonna just be like, forget that song, forget it, or
That's
whatever.
a
Like we're
good
always
cheat
talking
code.
about music, but it's like just anything in general, bro.
Yeah.
Like if I don't go to the gym by this time, it's not happening. Or
Yep.
if I don't wake up and start this painting at 12 or at whatever,
Yeah.
it's not happening. I know myself.
Yeah.
It's over with, bro. Like I'm gonna get caught up playing this video game or just making beats or doing anything but whatever I need to be doing, you know?
That's a good cheat code, even for people who are naturally procrastinators, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
And it's not an excuse either. Like
No.
I hate that of like, well, I'm just like
A huge
I'm just a big
procrastinator.
procrastinator or whatever. I'm like, okay, so that means you're lazy. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like that's what it, and laziness just
Because
there's a time to be lazy and chill, but come on.
Facts.
Like-
For me, for some reason, I just like the chaos of shit, whether it be natural or some artificial chaos of
Yeah,
shit.
'cause you
let's
can
say
self-create chaos, which is lit, like-
yeah. Like, let's say if I set a goal or a deadline, like you were saying, I'm gonna get that shit done before the deadline, even if I'm the type of person or in the mood to push it all the way back. Like wait until fucking day before the deadline. I like that chaos of like it's the day before the deadline. Like I gotta do this shit right now.
Yeah, and
I
it,
like
it
that.
helps like push your creative being, like because there's definitely something to be said of like pressure.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? The pressure makes diamonds or whatever that
Yeah,
like whole
facts.
saying.
Yeah,
It's
pressure makes
absolutely
diamonds.
true. But I say that also keeping in hand, doesn't it feel good to be like, the project's due next week? I'm like,
already
I'm in the
done.
fast
Got
lane.
that
Like
shit
now
done
I can
already.
really
Hell
do
yeah.
this.
Like,
I'm
damn,
chilling.
I've been
Hell
literally
yeah.
I
driving
got
on
time
the
to
right
myself.
side the
I
whole
can go
time.
do
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm
Get me
like,
out of there.
Have you ever thought of doing your own vocals on your production?
Duh.
Have
You don't
have
even
have
know,
you
bro.
done it? So you
The
got- you
real
got
ones
songs?
know. Like I've showed like, it's not something that I'm like so secretive about, I guess, with like people that I'm like really close with and work with a ton. But yeah, bro, I've got a couple songs. Yeah, my EP I dropped in 2019. I think it's a 5-song thing, and I was on 3 of them. I
Hell
did the hook
yeah.
on one of them, and then I did like the hook and verse on 2 of the other songs. But yeah, so it's not a it's not a
hell
far fetched
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely stay tuned in the new year for some new music that I'm gonna be
Fire.
on, and like have other artists on as well, because I think again I'm so used to telling like no, like again a lot of the times you come in with your idea or whoever it is like and everything's already like perfectly laid out, and I'm like, oh, I love the song idea. But then there's other times where I'm like, oh, what if you sang this harmony on the background? And they're like, oh, that sounds fire. Or they're like, they don't know what it's gonna sound like, but I'm like, bro, it's gonna sound fire. Just like sing it. I'm telling you. And then they sing it, and we're like, oh wow, that sounds really good. So like again, I'm very used to like helping kind of tell people like, oh hey, do this, do that. Oh, we need a guitar, we needed this. Like again, that's what a producer's job is, to look at a song and be able to be like, oh, you need this, or like, oh, you messed up there, fix that. You know, I should be able to look at this painting or this song and be like, or again, I'll tell you with your mix, no, it's perfect. You know, It's like that's just comes from years of like loving music and knowing what's there, what's not there. But anyways, yeah, with mine, I'm like, bruh, I just got to the point where I'm like, what? I'm gonna just get on the song, you know?
Yeah.
And it usually came, again, similar self-therapy for myself when I was going through something with an ex-girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to sit in the studio, and I was like, oh, wow, like, these words are coming into my head. Like, what is this strange feeling? Like, I mean, you know, as an artist, but, like, for me, I'm like, whoa, it's normally beats and normally, like, do-do-do-do-do, like, little melodies and stuff, but it was like, words, okay, and I'm... You know, you're getting this inspiration. You're like, well, what do I do with this? And I'm like, well, I guess you put it on the song. So it's cool that I've had a couple other songs. Bro, like so recently, the past month, I've had 2 or 3 songs that I'm really excited about. That one I did like all by myself, and then another one I did with another singer-songwriter. Her name's NJ.
Okay.
And we've only been working for like the past 2 months, but we've got like 4 or 5 songs already. And then like I accidentally like hopped on the song because she like had just this verse, kind of basically like a whole song concept idea, and like didn't have a beat for it or anything. And like she like helped me kind of figure out, okay, how should the beat go? And and then like I heard it and I was like, oh, okay, like, well, what if your like hook melody was like this? And she's like, oh, well, you should just sing that. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, we don't have anyone else here to sing it, so I was like, well, I guess, like, I mean, I guess. And then I got on the mic, and she's like, what? Like, I didn't know you did that. I'm like, you don't know what I do in my free time. Like, no one knows. Like, I could be singing every night, like, whatever. It's like, I mean, I'm used to singing other people's songs.
My shower's the only one who's heard that.
Bro, the shower, my shower knows a lot of things with me singing. It's like, oh, in my car, bro.
It's the only loose end I got.
I sing my lungs out in the car, bro. I'm just like screaming in there, like, yes, my favorite song. And it doesn't matter. It could be singer, it could be rapper.
It's times like that made me realize that I wanted to do music and I might be good at it.
Bro, that's amazing.
Because I'll be singing someone else's song. I like to, back in the day when I was younger and I was doing it, the times that I think of when I'm like, yo, I did that pretty good. It'd be like an Eminem song or a Lil Wayne song or even Drake. I'll be like, yo, I'm singing
first name ever.
Yeah, like I'm singing along to this
like
shit.
A sprained ankle blind
I
definitely
could definitely do this because I sing along pretty well.
I know.
Yeah, so that's
I'm like, bruh. and it's so cool to be like, wait, it's just the confidence thing of like, oh, okay, I can do this. And again, I don't walk around being like, I'm going to be the next, you know, Justin Timberlake, or I'm going to be the next, you know, Charlie Puth or whoever, like whatever pop star rapper you're thinking of. It's like, no, I don't like look at it that way, but yeah, it's just, it's another way of like artistic expression. Bro, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just, I don't know, it's a cool feeling to like be able to get to do that. And again, ultimately, I think there was something I like. I'm a big fan. Again, I like spend a lot of my time too. Like I watch so many interviews and like studying, you know, people that I'm like fans of, and I'm a big Chainsmokers fan. They're taking a little hiatus right now, but I promise when they pop back out, they're gonna come out with some crazy stuff. And again, that sounds like a very like the Chainsmokers. I'm like, no, bro, like their production, the way they interact with artists, like they got
a
it.
Drummer now,
And it's so sick to like the performance aspect of their stuff. You could be like, man, that's just cheesy top 40 pop, like mileage is whack for talking about the Chainsmokers. But I'm like, no, dude, like
I know some EDM head like friends who were like, they were super hardcore on the Chainsmokers and Marshmello.
Yeah.
And like then those like, I mean, and it's like the same with like I play drums, and when Imagine Dragons first came out with that what is it, the Night Visions album?
That first that was banger.
Unstoppable. Like that thing.
And then it kind of went downhill, but
and Chainsmokers aren't the Imagine Dragons like on that, because Imagine Dragons did kind of lose the sauce for a little bit. But
I was like, oh, like, we won't have to talk about that.
I understand the level that Chainsmokers and Marshmello took. Like that's like the next path for that artist. To
Yeah,
take.
and it's like, bro, they can produce anything. But like, I think the coolest thing that like I learned from him was he got on. He like sings on the Closer song, and everyone was like,
Okay.
"Oh, like is it just Halsey? Like who's the guy singing?" And he's like, "No, dude, like it's me." But he's like, "Oh, I was singing on the song because I don't know, like why am I gonna pay like $50,000 to like feature some other like big
Facts.
artist when he's like, bro, I
Facts.
could just sing it, like whatever, you know." And again, that's like kind of how I look at it for myself. Is I'm like, well, he just kind of like took it upon himself to, you know, he's like already writing the song and doing all this stuff, and he's just like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna sing. And I'm like, bro, Pharrell sang and Timberland like adding
That's
his
what I was
like,
about to say. I was going to tie Pharrell back into it. Like whenever he needed someone to sing, he just sang it. And
Yeah.
then back to fronting. He wasn't supposed to sing that. Prince was.
bro,
He sang
exactly.
it.
And like that's the cool part is like if I switch out and add someone else in, great, so be it. Or I
Yeah.
don't care. Like you're now the song, you're now on the song, but at the same time, I don't care. Like if it stays me, cool, whatever. I think it's like it's knowing. It's just a creative decision of knowing. Oh, I did it because of this. And again, he wasn't like Drew wasn't saying it like the guy from the Chainsmokers. He wasn't saying it as like a. He wasn't gonna make it seem like, oh, I'm just cheaping out. But he's like, bro, I mean, I can sing this, and I actually like wanted to sing this, and it's kind of cool to like know where
what are
to
you
take
doing?
it. Who was it?
Parcels.
I'm gonna.
Okay, word. I need to
gonna-
look them up.
I'm
I
gonna
haven't-
see how long we've been going.
I'm kind of wondering if they're
Holy
in that.
fucking shit! Did I click OBS?
Maybe.
We still going
I
steady.
wonder if they're in that hyperpop scene. It's kind of like this.
Maybe.
So I'm wondering what defines hyperpop. Like, is it like kind of chugga chugga, or is it like the more EDM sounds with it?
It's just like like chugga chugga mixed with like some
Okay, yeah.
EDM,
So they definitely
like a crossover, but it's not.
I wouldn't say they're full
It's not
hyperpop, but they're
pigeonholed.
definitely in that.
They play
vein.
around with that genre. Yeah, heck yeah.
So
Yeah, and again, I'm not gonna walk around being like, oh, I'm a hyper prop like producer or whatever, but hey, I've been dabbling and it's pretty lit. It's kind of
they're-
fun.
Yeah, they've been my favorite band for the past 3 or 4 years now. I'm actually
word.
flying up to New York to see them soon.
Can we make some hyperpop?
That's
shit?
awesome, bro. Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I've been
It's a
on it.
dream of mine.
I could
'Cause I
I
love
could definitely
that.
show you some unreleased
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
bangers. But yeah, I mean, honestly,
Shut up.
yeah, shut up, parcels.
Best band ever.
That's lit. I don't know. It's hard to like find people that want to do hyperpop, but it's like again, once you meet them, I'm like, oh, you're ripe for the taking. Like you're definitely up that alley. You know, like with certain people I meet, I'm like, let's do it. You know, and I don't know. I've been able to like convince people to do a lot of crazy things in the studio. You'd be surprised. Like they walk in, they're like, oh, I don't know if I can sing this, or I've never made this kind of stuff, and I'm like, well, you're about to today.
I mean, it's like herding cats trying to get people to do that, but Brad is like the first one. I didn't even have to tell him that. Like just listening to the Cracked album, I mean, it's like from regular like borderline alt rock songs to K-pop. There's that K.
That's hard
blah,
though.
blah blah blah.
So I'll say, you sent me like shortly after we connected. You sent me a beat, and first of all, I was like, "Oh, that's fire." He must think I'm good. Like he just sent me a beat. That's fire. But to add on top of it, it was like a rock sounding beat. Like it was very heavy heavy with the guitar, and that was definitely some shit I wanted to go towards. Just having Smashing Pumpkins being my favorite band, and
Dude,
me
seeing
being
like
heavily
in that
influenced with
stuff,
that music, yeah,
that's like so important to know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like me as a producer, like if I don't know that about people, then it's like, well, how can I actually make something that you're really gonna like want? Or like a lot of people are just stuck in a creative direction. They're kind of just like, well, they were around it, or they were, you know, like accidentally fell into this. But it's like, wait, where do you really want to go? And then again, you're bringing up the Smashing Pumpkins thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's amazing. Like my dad freaking loves them, and like obviously my dad like loves tons of bands, but I grew up listening to them as well, so I'm not like a stranger to that. Whereas like you would maybe tell another producer, and they're just like, dang, like who the heck is who is that? Or who is Smashing Pumpkins? Like what? Like what is this?
I'm
Like I'm like,
super
bro, it's a band.
Stand out with the Smashing Pumpkins. Like they're the people I listen to the most out of everything. It's
Dude,
fucking
that's awesome.
crazy. But just to chime in while I was bringing that up, is before that it was straight hip hoppy songs, like very hip hoppy, maybe like a little trap influence just because of how it was sounding.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted to make shit with guitars on it. I wanted to make more rocky songs. So you were definitely in the introduction of that for me. Like
I'm
you were
glad
saying,
I
I just make different genres. I want to make hella different genres of music. I don't just want to stay to one thing. So,
bro, and yeah, and I'm the exact same way. Where like, I think that's like the whole point of like, if you're like a true artist and really, you know, like a true music lover. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be like a true artist, but like, you know, you should naturally want to kind of take a step into a little bit of everything. And I think too, it's like the only way to grow is like trying out different stuff. You know what you're good at, but also take that time to, you know, go into a different lane and hop on a drill beat or hop on a, you know, reggaeton, some little bit of this.
Yeah.
And for me, like, obviously, like, majority of my stuff I'm making is like trap music and trap beats and stuff, but I've completely shaded away from that and made more pop beats this past 4 or 5 months than I've ever had in my life, because I've just been like, wait, like, again, I'm these influences of mine, like, you know, I'm bringing up like the Chainsmokers and Benny Blanco, and we were kind of like talking about Marshmello and Diplo and all them. I'm like, that's like really my influence, and like Pharrell and them. I didn't grow up listening to rap music, so like it's weird that I'm in this like rap world, you know, making a ton of rap music. Sometimes I'm kind of just like, well, like I love this and I love rap music, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, there's a lot of other things I'm trying to do too. You know, not just, oh, Mileage is this rap producer. I'm like, bro, don't call me that. Like, I'm way more than that. You know?
I never like calling people rappers. Like, I feel like
I'm like, why is that even a
an
thing?
insult. Just like I hate the word content. Like, but that's my own person. Like,
I'm
I just feel like it's a derogatory,
pigeonhole,
like, secondhand.
I'm slick offended, like you
Lame.
said, when people are like, "What kind of music do you make?" I'm like, I'm offended. Like anything, whatever I feel like.
Yeah.
All music.
Depends the day.
Yeah.
Like, it's the beauty of it. Like, literally, you don't have to lock yourself in. And yeah, so
Yeah.
they're like, well, who's gonna be there? Some MCs, a DJ. Like, I can't call anyone a rapper. I'm like, especially if people I work with, like, so if they're calling me, they want drums already. Like, that's like, if you're a rapper, I feel like you just make trap beats and that's it. There's no like, you can have that, like, you can have an element in your music, but when you play live, it's still just you with your friends up there, and like, there's no band element or just like. I work with people who have dancers now. People, they want live bands behind them. Like, this is the next, like, this is an artist. Like, you're not just an MC at this point either. Like,
Exactly. And again, like, you got to step up the scale of the production, and you got to influence.
it's caring about your music. Like, obviously that song.
It's about an experience,
that
bro,
song
too.
sounds great. Like,
Yeah. But performing it, you need the experience of, like, you need the dances, you need the this, you need the light guy, you need that. Like,
it's ridiculous the level that those elements bring to it. I mean, like, I already know, like, I mean, if they're calling me, I'm like, cool, like, I'm happy to see that. But when I like get to rewatch some of it, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, that's why they called.
yeah. And yeah, I think that's like the coolest part is like, you know, we're just fortunate we get to work with like all these creative people. And again, whatever our role is that we got to play, like, it's just awesome to be able to be like, wow, okay, they picked me because I know there's thousands of other producers they could have called. They could have recorded at this other studio up the street, but, you know, they drove to work with me. Or again, they could have just not had a drummer and been like, whatever, we don't need you, bro. Like, but no, they took the time and were like, yes, we're going to use you.
And there's a certain amount of worry with some artists, like, you know, a lot of the calls I get are like, hey, this is in 2 hours. Can you make it? And I'm
Bro,
always,
the last
like,
minute,
I'm
like,
always like, it's, people get discouraged by it. They're like, oh, they weren't thinking of me leading up to it. And it's like, yes, I could see that. But
you got the call.
yeah.
And you answered
yeah.
and you did it. Like, that's the best part. And
or at the very
attitude
last
you
moment,
have.
they weren't even thinking of that. And they realized, oh my God, I need this. Who can I call?
And it's and that just like speaks volumes of like reliability, you know. And again, I've seen that in my life and known reliability is like the most important thing. If you're not reliable, you don't do good business. You're bad at responding. Good luck. Good luck getting anywhere in this creative industry, you know. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to go anywhere. I don't care how fire you are or
I have
whatever.
some friends who I'm like trying to like kind of shepherd them in, like, hey, this is how we move now, and They're just not
more
hitting the
more
responding.
professional, more business like.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like, hey,
but
man.
it's hard to like get people up on that scale, bro. I feel like I do that every single day. I'm always
Yeah.
trying to be like, come on, bro, like let's go, let's like I'm be your hype man. I'm gonna hype you up and get you ready for this stuff. But
There's still a mentality of like how like music used to be in the '60s. Like, I'm a drummer.
I'm a sit up.
I'm gonna get famous for playing drums, and I'm literally gonna pay all my bills by just playing drums. Like, you can't do that anymore. Like, you gotta do photography. You gotta be able to at least have an input on writing and stuff like that. Like, you can't just you can show up to be the drummer, but it would be in like a 10-hour session studio, like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So, like an independent creative.
Yeah.
Like where I'm trying to go for.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah, and I think the best part is like just knowing like, oh, hey, you're an artist. At the end of the day, you're not just this. And again, I say the word artist, and I mean like in a very broad sense of like, I should almost just say like you're a creative, you know, and that doesn't mean you have to just be this drummer or I just have to be this producer or whatever. It's like, no, you can clearly get into anything you want, and I don't know. I'm grateful that we all have those opportunities to where we can do that now. Because I think back in the day it was like very hard. Like society was just like, nope, you're gonna be, you know, this. You're gonna work at this corporate job and that's it. Like you can't start your own business. You can't this. But like now the world is like very much just like, yeah, bro, run it. Like create your own clothing company. Do this, do that.
The
like,
craziest fact to me is that literally before the Beatles, if you wanted to record at a studio, it was a 9 to 5 suit affair. Like you showed up in a suit and tie to a studio at 9 o'clock. You went home at 5. Whatever you didn't finish, like no going over. 5:15, not happening. They didn't want to do it. The Beatles were the first like group to be
Super
like,
structured.
hey, we want to record at 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And they're like, what?
yeah, like oh, that's insane. Like
Literally even the recording techniques that they invented too. Like, I mean, it's really crazy to.
I mean, they flipped everything on its head and just were like, oh, we're gonna do it this way.
And even tying back to that, me being just a drummer, yes, that was the way it happened. But now I'm a drummer and a film, like, I'm not a filmmaker, but like, I have a camera and can shoot film. Like,
no, absolutely.
back then, you had to be a drummer and you had to know someone who was a filmmaker, and then y'all had to have to like link up and coordinating schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like
So,
being your one lane kind of thing. But yeah, it's lit to be able to.
it's charging.
Oh, is that why you moved it right there? Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's like
I was about to put it back on you, but yeah, I like where the world is in that sense of people being more
we have to be thankful
diverse.
of that, bro. Like,
yeah,
I think a lot of times people like will again sit back and complain and be like, oh, why this? I'm like, bro, you're lucky we were even in this, like that we were, you know, born at this time and have these opportunities. And we got the
Facts.
internet, bro.
I was just about to say that. Like the internet
and
is
social media
is a
all
big
the-
catalyst in all this shit. Like,
I mean, what?
the
No
internet
one
going
would
crazy.
be where anyone is like if you didn't have the internet. I'm sorry, like
Yeah.
it just completely changed the way everything works. You know, and again, you got to use it to your advantage, and again, like use it the right way and not abuse the power or any of that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm glad. Oof, I owe a lot to social media. That's for sure. Like also screw social media at the same time.
We
But
wouldn't have
like,
connected if it wasn't for
yeah,
social media.
I would not be sitting here right now if social media didn't exist. That's what's lit.
Yeah.
We both got the,
You're-
the white Nike sock gang.
Hey,
Yes, sir. I was like, don't play with
Go ahead and sponsor
Just
us,
checking.
Nike shit.
Yeah, for real. Let's go. Ready? Ting!
Just like
Little
that
sound
one.
Ting! Nasty. Crazy. That's hard.
What an accessory.
Bro,
Nike,
for real.
y'all did that. You were gonna say a negative about social media.
Oh, a negative? I mean, again, bro, there's obviously
Negatives to
negatives
everything.
to everything,
Yep.
of course. But I think something that a lot of people run into is like, you just can't get too caught up in it. Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, all it is this pretend reality I'm portraying to someone or this whatever, or that anyone can portray to anybody. Like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm portraying a fake reality.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
It's
very,
like it's like magic in the sense that it could be like staged.
yeah, of course. And again, you have all the time in the world to like set up this picture or this
Yeah.
post or whatever. Like, I don't know. But again, I think you can. It can either help you out or like ruin you.
I feel that.
And like really
Very true.
That's why I just like watch out for the negative things, is like control your intake of it and don't let it just like beat you down and be like, oh, you suck, or oh, you're not good enough,
facts.
or dang, this person's got it made. It's like, you don't actually know that. Like why are we measuring success or happiness based off of a number of likes or with like how someone looks in this picture or whatever? You don't really know.
Facts.
I'm like, let's be real, people. Let's not just be stuck up on the internet with social media and stuff.
Like in that same sense, to break it down another way, is just when people see something that has a low amount of likes, for some reason somewhere in their mind, they might think it's not as good as it is because it doesn't have a certain amount of likes.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
shit like that.
It's like a subconscious thing,
Yeah.
And it's strange.
Just triggers in your mind. Because it even, I could like feel it even happen with me, where like, if let's say it's a video, it's a trailer or something, and you don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it has no likes or no comments or some shit like that, it's obviously harder to watch it if you don't know what it is, compared to something that has more
like
has more likes and there's some engagement going on. So
no, that's very true. But I just love it as like a community aspect of like the simple word of engagement of like, yeah, bro, like if you're on there, be active, be a supporter. Don't be up there being like, man, this is whack, or like commenting on stuff like people like that post the like the shade room kind of stuff where people are like hating on this. I'm just like.
Yeah,
really? That's what you're doing with your life? You're just like sitting counting, like waiting on people's mistakes or trolling people? Like, come on, man. Like, that's like, I don't know. Those are the types of things that I can't get behind and support, because it just doesn't make any sense that like, really, you're like that bored, you're just gonna like go and troll people. And like, sure, sometimes it's funny, whatever, but half the time it's just like unnecessary drama you're creating. But anyways, I won't talk on that stuff anymore.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. In that same sense, but on like a more positive side, because at some point, all those people just don't even matter. And it's all about your community and shit.
It's kind of a beautiful thing. Like,
yeah.
Like, what were you saying?
I was going to say something about Twitch. Like Twitch, I've been streaming.
Bro, that's awesome.
More so new, but just the grind of it, and then speaking to people and connecting with people in the way that you can when you're live streaming is fire. I could say like that's the best thing that I am taking away from streaming now. Yeah,
and obviously like that's probably why you started this, and I'm just like still stoked to be here, bro, because
hell yeah,
this kind of stuff's so impactful. And I had so many people that after the other podcast thing, they're like, yeah, bro, I watched it, like, dang, you were like speaking facts, and like that really helped me, and da-da-da-da. And again, I'm like, yeah, bro, that's what this is about, is like, I want to help whoever, again, is 3 or 4 steps behind me on the totem pole or whatever, whatever it is, like, come on up. And again, it's like, obviously they still have to put in their own work and all that kind of stuff, but like I said, watching this type of kind of stuff is like the thing that's going to help you get to that next little step going, or whatever. You had a bad day? Go find a cool podcast or some video interview, something of like someone you look up to, or someone you're just like, man, I want to learn a little bit more about this guy, and like, shut up, stop whatever you're doing, just watch it for an hour, bro, and I guarantee you'll walk out of it and you'll learn something. You'll probably learn like 10 or 20 things from certain people if you're watching the right content, taking it in from the right people. Because I think again, we spend all these other times just like looking at BS on Instagram, like, oh, this is baloney, or like I'm taking in crappy, like someone talking on Instagram, like literally talking about nothing, like for no good reason, and they're just getting on the mic, like, talking crap about somebody, where I'm like, that's not good. Like you gotta like watch what you're taking in, and also like what you're putting out into the world. And for me, I'm very like particular. If someone's like, hey bro, watch this, I'm like, I don't want to watch that crap, bro. Like, get that out of my face. Like, that's garbage.
It's not something I like.
Yeah, like this is garbage. This is like, why are you trying to bring me down? They're like, bro, it's funny. I'm like, I don't know. Like
Yeah,
there's certain
yeah.
stuff. Yes, it's funny, but a lot of other things, I'm just like, nah, dude. Like let's
Yeah.
not. Like this is a waste of time. Like let's be more mindful of, what we're trying to take in and again make time for
And
the
give
important
out.
things.
Yeah.
Like make time for watching your favorite artist or whatever, that kind of stuff. Because I wish I would have spent more time with other artists that we don't have on this earth anymore, bro.
Yeah.
You just gotta
Yeah.
appreciate and take in what you can from them while people are here as well.
It's fire to hear.
I'm not gonna take it back morbid, but
Yeah.
I have to think of that stuff, bro.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's why one of the reasons why I like the skulls for representation.
Those are hard.
Of some
I
shit
hope my
like
legs
that.
not blocking it. Sorry,
Oh
GoPro.
no, it'd be straight. It'd be straight either way.
Bet. Heck yeah.
But yeah,
Those are
just
fire.
like how you're speaking about earlier with your friends to family members passing away. It's just things that can influence you in the weirdest way because it's such a negative in some people's eyes or in certain
Absolutely.
perspectives.
Yeah.
But there's a bright side to it as well.
I
Of
worked
course.
with hospice for 2 years, so believe me, the reason I started moving towards this kind of, I still do CNA work, but I'm trying to move out of it. But the way I started on this path today was working with hospice patients, and they're all at their last day, and they're like,
Yeah.
go ahead, grab the baton, they're like, you got to go ahead and run, dude,
Bro, and I really think that's kind of the way things work is people, this figurative baton, it's obviously not a literal thing, but I've seen so much of that kind of passing on to hey, okay, you gotta take this on for me, and again with you being around those type of people, it's bro, when people are in their last days, they don't care about the Instagram likes or this, that kind of stuff. Nah, bro, you have to go back to your roots. What are my roots? Some people, I don't even think they know what their roots are. And it's well, if you don't have roots,
Yeah.
you're kind of just sifting on this sand path that is nothingness. For me, I'm yo, I got a concrete, solid foundation that, hey, these are my morals. These are the things that I like. This is who I am. Boom, here it is. But other people, I think it's just, I'm wishy-washy or, oh, I don't even know. I'm bro, you don't know yourself? What are you doing? How can you,
Absolutely.
again, how can you make an impact? How can you be an artist? How can you do all these things? Why are you sitting on the song rapping about these things when that's not even really you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And then you're expecting people to get behind it when everyone knows that's not you, bro. This is a lie,
Yeah.
the party anthem from the deepest guy in the friend group, and it's no.
Yeah, you're wait, this is not. You should have made us the next Take Care. Come on, bro. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's like you said, it's
So gotta
wild
be
that
diverse in this bitch.
they're dang. No, it's cool though to again use life itself, and again knowing that okay, this has an end and a start date type of thing. But knowing all right, we don't know when this thing ends. But for me too, it's it doesn't have to be this negative light of I'm a big believer. I'm I don't think I'm just gonna go in a dark hole and
Oh yeah.
and
yeah.
oh, my life's over. Dang, I'm bro, there's no way everything I put into this life is just for nothing.
Just
There is
goes away.
no way. I'm just a big
I
believer in
can
that.
agree
I'm
with that for sure.
there's absolutely no way. Because for me, then again, I can drop this mic right now and be there's no point. There's no point in me being here. There's no point in me
Yeah.
living. I'd be done. I'd be whatever. What's the point,
No,
bro?
it's-
If there's nothing after this, what's the
Yeah.
point?
My favorite question I always got in that field was is this your belief? Is that your belief? And my answer to them every time was whatever helps you most comfortably.
Facts.
I'm not here to shit on
Yeah.
I've had Hindu patients, I've had Muslims,
Exactly.
Christians,
Yeah.
I'm not here to kick you on the door while you're on your way out.
Yeah.
If you need me to pray 5 times a day, I'll learn it.
It's bet. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I got you.
If you need me to eat vegan meals while I'm there, I mean, if you're paying for it, but yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do
It's
it.
I'm not paying. Yeah.
But
Facts.
It's the human experience is really a really crazy, beautiful thing.
Oh, absolutely. And
I've seen
Facts.
those those cornerstones. Really, why should anyone tell you that that's a bunch of baloney? I've seen so many people go to those beliefs, and when the big moment comes, and like it alleviates all the worry in the world for them. Like
They're just like,
and I've seen
whatever.
people with the opposite beliefs go to those beliefs too, and it helps them out too. Like,
Yeah.
so whatever you want, whatever hill you want to die on, I'm here to tell you, you can die on it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, do that. Yeah, and I think all
Believe
that
whatever you want.
yeah, and it reflects back
That's
to
cool.
just like an optimistic outlook on life or just on anything in general, you know?
Whatever helps you see the sunshine in it.
Yeah, bro. 'cause-
I most definitely believe I've lived lives before this and will live lives after this
oh, for sure.
as well. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, ooh, we don't have to go that deep. But I'm like, damn, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm like, we took it there. Facts.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
That's what I thought of when you were saying like all the hard work you're putting in, like it can't be for nothing type shit.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And
That's what made me
too, to
think
like,
of it for
that's
sure.
the coolest part about art is like, oh, yo, that's here to stay. You know, I don't know how much time the earth has left with
Yeah.
where we're going. I don't think a whole lot, but
Yeah.
I want my music to be on here for as long as possible till the earth is
Yeah.
gone.
Fucking A, like
You know?
10 years ago, I was like, man, the next generation's screwed. And like last week, I was like, uh-oh, I might want to buy houses in the mountains or something.
Bro, I mean, yeah.
What do y'all think's
on,
gonna end the world?
on another planet? I'm about to buy a house on another planet.
Hopefully
bro.
our Fire album.
I mean, honestly,
That
like,
would be so crazy if someone had an album that just shut the whole
Comet
world down.
drop.
that'd be wild. Yeah, bro, that's how it's got to end. Like, that's how dinosaurs went away. That's how we're gonna go away. I'm telling you.
Someone is literally going to have the stake to claim, like, yeah, my music ended the world. Technically, no. Literally, like, it just the time it downloaded, yes.
I would rather it be
No,
just
no.
like a singular something that just like happened over like at once. Like we all just like explode at once or something like that.
Like it
As a-
has to be in an instant.
yes,
Yeah,
I don't want it to be not
I don't
instantaneous.
want to watch, like, I don't want to watch shit over there.
I don't want it to
Just
be
had
like
to
a
know-
slow
just had
burn.
to
I want
know
it to
how
just
we
be like
Yeah.
or like
get it over with.
explode, like bet. All right,
don't wanna
boom, it's
watch the
done.
next-
This world is dying.
I don't want
Yeah,
to watch the
bro,
house
like-
next door like fall into the fiery depths, and then my house is good for like 2 months.
I
and
know.
Then it falls into the fiery depths.
You're gonna be like, what? Yo, shout out to
That'd be
everyone that's
crazy.
still here with us right now. They're like,
You
That'd
get the
be
spicy
they're like, man,
blind after dark.
These are the after dark.
Everyone who's really down with mileage, with
Facts.
Baby Win, with Carter, with any of the entities, use a real one.
Facts.
Use a real
Shout out
one.
to y'all, bro. But no, I mean, again, it's definitely good to keep where you're going. What's the point of this? I keep that thought in my head every day. Again, from like, why am I drinking this water? Why am I showing up to this play? Why am I like whatever it is? It could be the stupidest thing. Why did I eat this food yesterday?
Yeah.
Bro, like you got to have an answer to these things sometimes. Like other times, it doesn't matter.
Your
What did you
why.
eat yesterday? It doesn't matter. But like
Yeah.
other things in your life, why did you do that? Oh, I don't know, bro. I just did it. It's like
moving
the
more,
answer,
moving
like
more intentful.
yeah, the answer doesn't
Yeah.
work for me. Like you got to like have dedication. Like have a motive behind what you're doing. And again, to me, it's
Facts.
either like a negative motive or a positive. Like. You know, or
You
it's
gotta
productive
pick
or
one.
unproductive.
Yeah.
Like you can't lie to yourself and be like, "Oh, well, this is helping me, you know, become a better producer." It's like, bruh.
Move more
No,
intentful
it's
later.
not. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't have a good example for that kind of crap. But, anyways, I think that's kind of like what you got to keep in sight, or else you're just gonna get lost in the sauce and you're gonna fall off.
Even being reciprocal to your friends, kind of being like, hey, maybe take it back to the lab for a little bit more. Like recently I've found that.
Oh, like saying to work on the song more or something.
Yeah,
Some
even
shit
like
more.
Yeah.
drum parts.
Be real. Tell them.
Yeah,
I don't care.
appreciate,
I'm like,
people be a little timid towards me, like, hey, like, I kind of want you to. I'll be like, please, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not,
say it, because if you don't,
I'm not the deity. Like,
Yeah.
I love drums. Like, I can help. Like, I'm like an interpreter almost. Like, I can help you. You speak a different language that I do.
you
but
say
I
that.
yeah, but I can still
like, I'm a
kind
genius.
of spit that out in a way that you can kind of, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So be open to, you know, your friends. I think what was it, a podcast we were listening? No, it was a Mr. Beast podcast I was watching.
Mr. Beast fire.
Yeah,
I feel like I haven't watched him. I've seen Mr. Beast shit though.
He's
I never heard of him.
ridiculous.
I need to look him up.
So he's a
Name-wise.
ridiculous YouTuber. He's probably like the most popular YouTuber right now. But like, he'll be like, I have $1 million. I'm gonna give it away to a family. And he'll be like, he'll go to families all on the street and he'll be like, hey, do you want a home? They're like, yeah. He's like, cool, here you go. And like, next person, and they'll be like, what do you think? They're like, oh my God, I'm so happy. He's like, cool, thanks, bye. And so he'll go to the next family and be like, hey, do you want a condo? They're like, yeah, here you go. How do you feel? Oh my God, like, cool, bye. Like, he's so nonchalant about it, but like, he does.
Is he like this like white dude, 6 feet tall, like brown hair
short,
type?
Yeah, beard.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
I'm
Maybe
guaranteeing
I've seen
you've
it.
seen a video. He's
Maybe.
ridiculous. But what was I talking? The video interview. Colin and Samir crap.
You trying to think of why you started talking about Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just like
The
some
podcast about how you can help your friends with things if they're just more open.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
the people who are interviewing him, Colin and Samir, they have like they're like the news channel reporting on like YouTube creators. So like Mr. Beast, they were doing a tell all on him.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to them that, like, you know, you should have friends who call you and be like, you know, maybe you could tweak it up a little bit. And he referenced one of their videos personally. He's like, I called y'all after that video. He's like, I'm not helping y'all get to, you know, he gets like 100 million views per video. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not going to get y'all to this. But, like, if you want to hop the stepping stones to get there, like, these are the steps I took. And so he'll call them and be like, you got to re-edit this. Like, fix it up. And
Yeah, bro.
not
and
for
it-
that specific time, but maybe for your next time. Like,
Yeah, and it just goes back to like being honest.
Would you say you like fly off the hinges and tell people when they're doing something bad in your presence while you're engineering them?
Yeah, and you gotta read the room and you gotta read the person and say it the right way. Like, for instance, I'm recording, you know, like I'm recording Doughboy, who's like an artist signed to Future, and you know he's from Ohio and all that good stuff. If I'm recording him, he's got like, you know, crap ton of followers and like big into stuff, and he's at a certain point. For him, I can't really correct someone like that, you know. I don't, because like with him, we've only worked a handful of times on my hand. I can only count, like, I don't have a repertoire with him, but like vice versa in this same regard, like someone like Light Skin Keisha or Coca Vango, like I work with them so much and like we're so close to each other that I can literally tell them and be like, yo, can you sing that again? Or like, like maybe sing it this way or that way. And again, it's all love. It's not me being like, bro, you suck, or like, dang, you need to record that again. It's like, nah, I'm just looking out, bro.
Yeah,
like,
people
it doesn't even
kinda
have to be
forgot
my
about
beat.
that.
I'm just trying to make you be the best you can be. And again, and I'll tell you whether you have 1 billion followers or 2. I don't care.
You said something about light skin Keisha though, and I was gonna say I got my hair done before we did this, and the stylist, I was watching that podcast with you, and it said light skin Keisha in the title.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, he's a regular light skin Keisha." I don't know about
That's
I don't know
fire,
about
yeah.
light skin Keisha like that, but she was like,
The stylist knew?
she's in power. Yeah,
That's
is she in
hard.
power? Is
Yeah,
Light Skin Keisha
yeah,
in power?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she's
she goes crazy
She's
on
a
there.
person that's big on power. So
Oh, yeah.
she knew about.
They've
Light
like
Skin
made her
Keisha.
like one of like the main characters and stuff, and
That's tight.
it's so lit to think that, you know,
How was it working with her?
it's awesome every single time. But like, to me, I think the most important part is like having a real relationship with someone. You know,
Yeah.
again, you can't just like walk up to someone and be like, hey bro, you need to fix this to your art. It's like, who are you? Like, they have to know you. You have to be credible, these other things, like whatever. But to me, when I was first starting to work with him, I was like, I don't know, I didn't like really feel credible or anything. Like, I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, I have the credits and everything to back it up, but like, it's a confidence thing as well of like, I can't tell this person sing it this way, or tell him that beat
also
is
depends
kinda
if
meh.
like your friend referred them or if they're just like
Yeah.
In that same light, though, how are you about spewing out new ideas? Because, like you said, at the end of the day, you're just trying to make it better.
Yeah. Same kind of thing. Like I'll pretty much, I'll always kind of say like, oh, I have this idea sometimes, but a lot of the times too, like you have
See
to
how
know the
this
difference
feels.
between like, all right, this is the. I know I'm about to move mine too. This is the difference
I
between
I
like,
gotta test it out.
bro. It's definitely
Oh,
this
no,
thing
no,
is
it's the-
comfortable.
It's
This is the vintage couch. This thing's fire.
facts.
I think you just have to know, really, bro, just like when to add in your little 2 cents.
Yeah.
But also to realize, like, for me, you know, the saying is like 2 cents. I'm like, bro, I'm making sure that mine's like a dime. It's got to be worth it.
A whole dime
You know?
on 'em.
Yeah, not this whole, oh, I'm going to add a 1%, whatever. It's like, at that point, it just feels like, oh, Mileage is just trying to add his little guitar on the song, or he just wants to sing this little thing, or
Yeah.
he, like now, because it can feel like I'm just trying to run up the session or make you like sing it again just because like I have that power to make you do it or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
no, bro, like just sing it this way or do this kind of thing. Because I know I sat there and debated telling you for 30 minutes and I told you, you know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where I tell
facts,
myself is like, and
facts.
again, sometimes it's I debate it for 5 minutes, but
Yeah.
nah, sometimes I'll debate a creative idea and be kind of like, should I tell him? Like, should I text him and tell him, well, I think the hook's a little off. We got to re-record it. Like, I don't always
Yeah.
know in the session either. I'll wake up the next day and be like, dang, we might need to re-record this. And like, again, that's like some real, because
Damn.
I know, I'm like, yo, you could have sang that better, you know, or like
Yeah.
whoever it is. Like, but I just take a big pride on like, you really got to know who you're working with or
Yeah.
else you don't know. You're going to be like shooting stuff on a blank wall and not
Yeah.
sure. But for me, every time I'm like, no, I know that this decision, this
Yeah.
tweak, whatever it is, improvement, it's like, yo, this was well thought out. And again, it's always coming from a good place in a positive
Yeah.
sense, not in you suck, like you need to do this again or whatever. Because approach is everything, bro. And again, the timing of your approach.
Yeah. When I asked you that question, I hadn't even like thought of how I would go about it. Just because I engineer a few people, just because I know how to engineer, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Just know how to do it a little bit. And then I feel like I just say go again every time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like go again.
And it's not a big deal. Like you don't even have to explain it all the time.
And I
like,
didn't think of
just
that
do
at
it.
all when I asked you that question, how I'd go about it. But as you explained it, I thought of how I do it, or how I do it, and that's definitely what I do. I feel like it's kind of a cheat code as well.
Absolutely.
You-
Like you don't even have to explain why.
Yeah.
But like you know what you could have fixed. And then again, sometimes I have to coach them because they'll do it 6 or 7 times the exact
Facts,
same way. And I'm
facts.
like, bro, this is still not it. Or like, yo,
Yeah.
it's wrong. Like, I'm sorry, but well, I wanted that one. Okay, but it doesn't work. Like, or like I'm honestly too, I'm like, it doesn't sound good. Like maybe
Yeah.
it's what you want, but to me, this sounds better. And then again, obviously, like there's so many little creative decisions that happen in this 30-second window that I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like I'll decide when I'm like, okay, whatever. I obviously for me,
Yeah.
as the producer, or engineer, whatever role I'm playing that day is like, I normally just have to be like, okay, cool, whatever. But I'm gonna at least present the idea, and
Yeah.
it lets you know, oh, he's an active participant in this song. He's not just like,
Hell yeah.
oh, my bad, bro. I got you. I'll record you again. Like I could easily just like duck off and like just kind of chill and do my own little thing and be like, whatever, bro. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm bobbing my head being like, yeah,
And you
that's
into
hard.
that
Or I'm
shit.
like, come on, do it again. One
Hell
more time.
yeah.
Like, that could have been better, whatever, you know, because like I said, it's easy to just kind of be on the sideline or be
Yeah.
uninteractive with it. But I'm like, no, if I'm sitting here working on this, you bet you I'm actually gonna, you know, put some sort of input in. And now it's honestly like kind of exhausting sometimes because everyone's always like, what do you think of that? Or like, was that right? Did I sing this right? I'm like, bro, yes.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even
Like,
asking
do
me?
you-
But
do
they're
you-
they're
do
just
you
like so
think
used
it's
to
right?
like,
Yeah.
Miles, do you think it sounds good? I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. Like, I love it. It's fire. And if it sucked, I'm gonna tell you it sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I think
It brings
that's
me
important.
it brings me to the question of were you ever surprised of the outcome in the sense of it was one of those times where you're thinking in your mind, maybe I should say this of this person switching it up, and then you're surprised by like the end of the song where it turned out better than you're thinking in the beginning
what,
of the
like
process.
their decision?
like
turned-
like
or
it,
wait.
like in the beginning of the process of making the song, and it wasn't turning out good to you in your head.
Uh-huh.
But by the end of this song,
Like it makes
Is this
sense.
is this a dumb question? But like
No,
by the end of the song, you just liked it way better than you thought of at the beginning of the process.
Oh, of
You know,
course,
like thinking
of course, 'cause
thinking of those times where you want to correct someone or just
I
tell
want to
them
be
it's
like,
bad.
yeah, because again, you have to digest the art, and like obviously for you as the artist, you know how the song's supposed to sound.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, I'm like hello,
Yeah.
I don't know your song, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what lyrics are on your phone. I can't see what you're about to rap next.
Hell
Like
yeah,
it's
hell yeah.
sometimes hard to like fully be able to get along or get on board and be able to like understand where the song's going.
Facts.
But again, a lot of the times I just kind of get on for the ride and to know like, yeah, sure, I've definitely ended songs before and been like, I don't know, I don't like love this song or whatever. But then, you know, we have to listen back to it 3 or 4 more times at the end of the session. Like, I don't know, it's kind of just the process. And then I'm like, okay, wow, I think I like this. Or maybe I go to bed still not liking it. And then I wake up the next day or next week and it's stuck in my head and I'm just like, dang it, I must like this song.
What do you think that is?
know?
That's fucking weird. Even with me listening to new music, that
That's
I wasn't a
beautiful,
part of
though.
the process.
It's
with.
amazing.
It is. It's fucking.
I hated
weird.
Whole Lot of Red at first, bro. I was like, what is this? What incarnation? Like,
Yeah.
Cardi, what are you doing? And now, bro, I love it.
Man.
I love it. It's
Just
a
some different
masterpiece.
shit, for
It's
sure.
like that's just like my
I like
album
how
that
he
like
did
has
different
helped
shit.
me prove that recently.
Okay,
where
hell
again,
yeah.
like it doesn't matter. You don't have to always like the song the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Sit on it, bro. Like music's meant to kind of
Some
marinate.
of my favorite songs ever are songs like that. Like the first time I listened to it, it
You're like,
was
this
just
is trash, or like,
Yeah,
that's it. Like,
yeah, like it was like just like flew through the song and it was
Or
on,
it was a
just
bad,
on to, it
like-
was just on to the next song.
Yeah.
But at some point this song played again randomly and I'm like, what is this shit?
yeah, and you were like, yo, where did this come from? Or like,
Yeah.
are you sure this was on the album the first time I listened to it? Like,
I've been victim of like songs having like the first 30 seconds not initially grab me to, and so I'll
Yeah.
skip it.
or there's something at the hook that then like grabs you in or whatever. Yeah.
And
And
then
I'm
I'll-
always like, dang, why
I'll
was
come
this-
back into the song at another random date, but it'll be like a minute in, and I'm like, "What song is this?"
Yeah.
And
Right,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that song I was shitting on last week.
Yeah, and like again, I would go around talking trash about it, be like, nah, that new album sucks, or da 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 da, or whoever it is, because again, I've said that about like certain people, and then later, like a month or two, they're
Buying
like,
tickets to their
dang,
concert.
bro, like why were you just listening to that? I thought you didn't like that new Cardi
Yeah.
or the new Thug or whatever it is, like whatever album we're talking about. But yeah, I think that's the coolest part about music is that, you know, yes, you want to get people's attention the first time, but like it's never too late. You can always, someone could hate these songs on my album and be like, this album sucks. I'm like, it's cool, bro. Go listen again.
Yeah.
Go listen again. Go listen again. Then I guarantee you'll be
I
like,
would like to,
all right, fine.
to
I really
say
like this
to
one song.
be-
Even if
it's
you
a
only like
new
one song, I
day.
don't give a crap. I guarantee there's
Honestly,
one
just
song
once
on there
again,
that
thank
you're
you
really gonna be
for,
like, oh, I love this.
You know, you guys having me today. And
Yeah.
just glad people tuned in, and you know, again, I'm always gonna take the time to, you know, get my knowledge out there a little bit more.
Hell
Because
yeah.
again, I think there's a lot of people that need that kind of stuff, and I learn a lot from other people, and I want to
Yeah.
share what I've learned from other people. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I know everything, or oh, this is all like
Yeah.
things I know. I'm like, no, bro, but I've been through a lot of things, and I've experienced a lot, and I've made a ton of music, and again, just like life experience outside of music
Yeah.
as well is like. I think there's a lot to share, and it's cool too because we can all relate on this, and it's crazy because again, none of us had a
Factors.
conversation before we even came into this
First
room.
first
but-
time we all had a conversation.
but we just spazzed and like
Crazy. We
talked
definitely
about some
did.
really
Definitely.
like inspiring things.
I definitely see some similarities in the way we all operate too, with like even mentalities we all approach. Like even you're just like can't wait. Like
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's.
I
there's,
want
like,
to I
keys
want to
success,
toot my
like-
horn and thank the people who've come on to the podcast. Right,
Facts.
like I'm grateful for you to coming on here and
course,
speak
bro.
and
Thank you.
speaking with us. But at the same time, I'm like picky on who's coming onto the podcast. Like
You gotta
I,
be.
I like
I'm picky with who I work with.
Like even with you as well. It's fire to hear you come on here and just say you want to move more intentful and you want that for the world and you want to help people to leave more of an impact for them and for yourself. But that's fire.
It's a two-way
'Cause-
street, you know?
Yeah, because everyone else that's been on the podcast very similar. So it's fire to see. I like to say this. Thinking of it now, just like that in quotations. I say that a lot on the podcast for
Oh,
some
I
reason.
did.
Thinking of it now, but everyone has a different perspective on how they would want to do that, as in being more impactful and intentful, but everyone has a different perspective on it, and they break it down in a different way. So it's fire to see everyone be unique in their own way at attacking this
Definitely, bro.
similar goal.
Yeah, because I think we all want to like give back and help out people. Because for me, I'm like, dang, what would I have done differently? I don't know. There's like probably hundreds of things, but that's like the key of it all is like, hey, I see you're messing up on this. Don't do that. Like, let me help you out. And again, I think that's the only way that things are going to kind of work out is you got to give back what you got put in. Because I had so many people that were, that still are integral in my journey with everything. And, if they weren't there, if they weren't telling me these little tips and tricks, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now,
Hey, shout out to the people.
Like, bro, you got to sit back and like really reflect and count and be like, dang, I'm thankful for my parents. I'm thankful for this person I met. I'm thankful for this random person at the gas station that said this other thing to me that was just like, yeah, bro, chase your dreams. And I was just like, what? Like, there's all these like random
dropping cheat codes.
Bro, there's so many things, but you have to sit back and be grateful. You can't just be like, it was all me. It's all mileage.
Yeah.
I'm the reason why I'm so good or I'm this. It's like, I hate that arrogant attitude, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, but it was not you. It was not. It was the combination of a billion events, this person telling you this, that. And again, if you're not listening, if you're not up and really like taking that stuff in, it's just going to fly by you. And all right, well, someone was trying to help you out, like either the guy on the side of the road was telling you something or like one of your best friends, but you're just like looking at it as like, oh, he's hating on me, or oh, he doesn't know anything. Like, I know everything. I'm the best. Like, wake up, bro. Like, you don't know.
Shout
and you
out
can
to
learn
the
from
people.
anyone. You can
I've
learn from
learned
people
so
younger
many
than you.
times
Like,
whenever I took
you
that
can
mentality,
literally
I was
learn from
wrong.
someone who's homeless, who's a hobo. You could
Bro,
learn,
it's
you
lit.
You could learn from a rock.
probably.
You
Yes.
in a certain perspective and a certain mindset.
Look at
you
Patrick
gonna learn
Star,
from the
bro.
rock.
Look at Patrick Star on SpongeBob. Like,
Hey.
People do be learning from the wrong rocks, though.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
Damn.
Yeah, like, be careful about the rocks.
Damn.
But no, bro. I mean,
Don't
that's
smoke that. What are you doing smoking a rock?
yeah. Like, oh my god.
Call back to our last episode.
Yeah, oh my
I'd
god.
be like, bruh, you gotta.
Get that post-nut clarity before you go touching that rock.
I'd be like, oh man.
I'm gonna switch it back quick though. Like you were saying, you could definitely learn from anybody, and I feel like anything
Absolutely.
as well.
Like, be receptive, But I think too, what I touched on a lot earlier was just being careful of what you're receptive to. Everything, like,
Hell yeah.
there's a balance of like, yes, you want to be receptive and learn from people and that kind of stuff, but at the same time, not everything coming your way is going to be good.
You don't want to be naive.
Yeah, because there's other people that are going to come around like, hey, Mileage, what's up, bro? Like, you need a manager, you need this. Like, I'm trying to get on what you're on. And I'm like,
bamboozle you.
bruh,
Trying to make it big, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm not easily fooled. Like,
What's
I'm not
up,
an
King?
idiot.
Big bro, how you been?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that stuff. It's like, all right, he's coming around asking for a favor, or she, or whoever it is, So, but yeah, again, I think all this goes back into is the want to be song, bro, and like really understanding
I love that
yourself.
shit.
Because if you don't get it, if you don't know where you're going, then why are you going anywhere? What are you doing?
Facts.
That's why it's important to like just sit back and relax and figure out, where am I going? What am I trying to do? And honestly, like, that's why I'm just like super excited to like have the next week off with, the holidays and stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I don't want to date the podcast too much because I don't know exactly when you guys are dropping it, but
yeah.
I think it's so important to like take that time away and reflect.
Within 2 weeks, approximately.
Oh,
2
bro,
weeks.
that's fire.
It'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, no, for real. Happy holidays to everybody. But yeah, I mean, again, you got to take that time
For
and
surely.
slow down, bruh. Like,
This a candle for the Christmas time.
yeah, look at that. The candy
We
canes
got
on
some
it.
mistletoe.
Going crazy. That's hard.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I love
See
it.
the little fire thing in the background? Have you seen that? The screensaver with the fire?
No.
The fireplace?
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's tough.
Like dead ass a screensaver. Are you about to pull up the screensaver?
It's like a net. Oh no, it's like a net.
No. I was like, oh no.
Oh shit.
You're like, oh no.
Protect the audio. No, it's like a Hulu thing, I think.
Okay.
But you can YouTube it.
YouTube it, yeah, whatever. It's like
I had a coworker
I've
do
for
it
sure
for
seen
her
flames screensavers there.
workstation. She put a little fireplace on her phone, and like every time a patient went back there, they're like, "Ah."
that's wild. Hey, it's all about the atmosphere though. But no, bro, I love the vibe of this place too. It's awesome.
Appreciate you.
I don't know how anyone couldn't come in here and just like vibe out and have an awesome conversation with you guys.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
It's this
I didn't
episode,
practice
this
this.
episode, and then the last episode were the first ones that were in here. And for a while, I was shying away from doing it here, which
It's
don't-
like your
I don't-
sanctuary, right?
I don't know why.
Is that why or what?
I would say at first I just wanted to have it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I don't know why again.
Bro, it's
just
your
I just wanted to
sanctuary,
like
I'm telling
set up
you.
somewhere else maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Probably
It
to
could
get
be
a
an
different vibe for
accumulation
yourself as well.
It could be an accumulation.
A couple of
Facts.
things. Yeah.
Maybe.
'Cause that's
Hey,
what
I
you
never thought of
need.
that, but that's very true.
That's why I'm glad you weren't like, oh, let me pull up to your crib and record. I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want to like. I'm at my crib recording
Yeah.
and stuff every day. Like, I want to be somewhere else. You know.
I love it for the different experience as well. So while doing it here, though, it's still tight because it's a new experience.
Yeah,
like we said, it's
'cause
our
it
first,
depends
it's our
who's
first
there.
time all speaking,
Yeah.
and it's an event.
The
It's an
people you have in your
experience.
environment are
Just
what
that.
changes it. Like the environment can stay the same, but it can become like
Yeah.
such an interesting place. Like, bro, I made my old apartment like such an amazing, cool place that like only reason it was cool is because I had so many awesome people in it. Like it wasn't. It was just this apartment, you know. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing special about it, honestly. But like, we made that place special, and it's cool
Hell
again
yeah.
to like look around. Obviously, if you didn't have like art and stuff on the wall, it'd be kind of like whatever.
More
But
mundane for
like
sure.
this is the
Yeah.
experience, bro. I was like, dang, and it's a vibe, and again, it's like
Hell
it's
yeah.
an energy thing that you can just feel in the air,
Hell
which
yeah.
is dope. And yeah, look at the upside down flowers. That's hard.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I thought I saw that earlier, but I'm like, I gotta shout them out real quick.
Mistletoe for the holiday
It's
season.
another
lit.
take on some death shit. So there was something under there before. It died. The name of the table is Time Expire. So with that same thought in mind, Time Expire. But I think of death always as some transforming shit.
Chill, bro.
No. Look,
No. I understand. I understand.
Even if you
I'm just
put
like,
death,
I'm thinking about death so much.
even if you put death
Not in
to
a
a
bad way,
situation,
but-
even if you
Subject
put
today.
death to a situation, even if you put death to a situation or death to a toxic relationship with somebody, death to a bad eating habit.
Oh,
like
yeah.
even death to negative
It's a
things.
good thing, yeah.
And just the transformation. So yeah, that's why the flowers are there as well.
I like
When
that.
you transform, when things die, what you do, you give it flowers. So that's why
And
the
it's like a
flowers is on
rebirth
it.
thing. Like you put away this bad habit, and hopefully you pick up a good one instead, or whatever. And again, with New Year's coming up, yes, sir. You bet your butt. I'm
Absolutely.
improving myself and getting some new habits coming in. I just bought this book on habits called Atomic Habits, and I'm super excited to read that. Because again, I think I really have like dialed everything in and like got
Yeah.
really good at whatever the heck I'm trying to chase towards the dream, but. There's obviously other things I could still iron out and like completely perfect. And again, I'm not saying here I'm not going to be perfect. Like obviously it's too late for that. I already messed that one up a while ago. But yeah, I think that's the most important stuff is like you said, kind of just like knowing I need to put these other things like to rest or
Yeah.
death or whatever. And again, like replace it with something else or be
Hell
mindful of
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
And appreciate it. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing.
Facts.
It can be good.
Hey, to go on with that, everything got to transform. All good things come to an end. This is the
I
first
swear.
time we're properly ending a podcast.
I know, I'm like,
Even though it went on for a minute.
All good things had to go.
First proper fucking ending.
Oh, man.
Thank y'all for
Let's
watching.
go.
Shout out to the people.
Appreciate you. We're out.
Appreciate you.
Till next time.
Doses.